I'm coming through. When the growth look good on you, best believe they wanna screw now. I've been trying to climb, devil threw me in the dark. Baby, don't be insecure, you can still go make a mark like blow. Could never let them drain my soul now. Blow. Tables turning like doorknobs, wow. Blow. I think I'm about to set sail. I'm a walking, living legend, walking with my chest out. Life keep dealing me cards, I keep feeling it.
What's happening, people? It's G. We are back in the building. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is blessed. Guys, you already know why we're here. You already know the ties. You know the vibes already. The Euros has started. The Euros has started, man. It's been quite exciting, if I'm being totally honest with you. Quite an exciting period of time. Yeah, man, it's been interesting. It's been interesting seeing a couple of the games, a couple of the international teams. Some, obviously, of the, would I say, quote unquote, not so big international teams. They've done pretty well. They've done pretty well in their games. Obviously, you know, the top dogs: Spain, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, and now, of course, England have all won their opening game of the tournament. We know how important that is. We know how vital that is, of course, for progression into the next round. Today, I'm obviously joined by Junior in the building, and we're just going to talk, you know, just a little bit about England, positions, tactics, or whatever, you know, and then we'll give our player ratings, and then, of course, we will head on out of here. Big up everybody who is watching. As I mentioned before, guys, please make sure you do smash that like, share, and subscribe. Big up everybody in the chat already. Big up Mike's in the building. Big up Honesty, and big up Any in the building. Any, if you are free, my bro, and you want to jump in, bro, give me a shout, man. I'll send you the link ASAP. Junior, first and foremost, before we kick it off, how are you doing this morning, bro?
Yeah, I'm good at the moment.
That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear. So, where should we even start it? Obviously, just a general kind of overview of the game. England won 1-0 thanks to Jude Bellingham getting himself that goal. I think it was in the 13th minute. Yeah, 13th minute. Yeah, so, you know, early kind of goal in the game. And then it remained that way for the remainder of the game, even though, you know, Serbia had some chances. England did dominate after they did score that goal for a period of time. And then, obviously, we saw how that second half kind of panned out. But for you, how did you kind of look at it, bro? Like, in terms of the game as an overall?
I think England started off well. Serbia were pushed back in their own half, in their own box. I was actually surprised with how England, like, how they looked positionally. So I saw Trent go really high, almost in like a right mid position at times, and I think I was quite shocked because I thought Trent would just be sitting back in front of the back four with Rice, but he was actually quite advanced at times. I think Southgate is trying to mirror Pep with his 3-3-3-1 formation, or something like that. I think it was, so it would have been like Walker, Stones, he has a 3, then Jude, Trent and Rice as a 3, and then Kane, Foden and Saka as a 3 at times. Or no, actually Kane, Saka and Trippier, because Trippier was quite high up the pitch. So if you look at Pep, he will have Gavardio high up the pitch, almost playing left wing, and we've seen him score a couple of goals. So I feel like Southgate was trying to mirror that. Then you have Kane up top. So it's kind of like, do you really know what you're doing? Or are you just going to try and copy and paste? Because Foden will know his role in that system. Trent was kind of like, at times, you know, when De Bruyne goes in the half space and then he makes a run for the cutback. We saw that once, and Jude took a touch, but someone took the ball from him in the box, almost like a De Bruyne role. But yeah, I think it was a poor game overall. I think Serbia had a couple of chances. They had I think they had a couple of chances where they could have put the ball in the back of the net. But yeah, England poor overall.
No, man. Honestly, bro, I fully hear it, man. Big up honesty in the building. He said, let me start with this question. Why does Kane keep dropping in midfield? So who is Trent passing to? And Trent play with his back to goal a lot. And then Trent had a good connection with Saka. Obviously, listen, look, before the game, and this is how, of course, England set up in the game. I kind of thought this is the team that he would go with, if I'm being 100% honest with you, in terms of as a start. I thought he'd be maybe a tad bit braver, or I would hoped he would, but I kind of knew this is where he was going. Of course, we had Trippier left back, Walker right back, Stones and Gay in the back four, Trent playing in the midfield alongside Declan Rice, with Bukayo Saka, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, with Harry Kane up top. So I kind of had a feeling he would go with that. I would have made a couple changes potentially, but it is what it is. Obviously, the talk of the town the talk of the town before the game was Trent. Now, obviously, me and you, we've spoken, offline in regards to, Trent and stuff like that. How did you kind of look at his game? And the only reason why I'm even asking this question is because I know that this is the talking point in terms of before the game and even during the game. He was, and big up Monts because he mentioned this as well, but he was being micro and analyzed everything he did, within the game, whether it be good or bad. But how did you kind of see it, man?
I think his performance, it wasn't outstanding. It wasn't bad. I think it was just average. Obviously, we did speak yesterday offline, and I said I'm not too sure about Trent with his back to the opposition goal when receiving the ball, because he just gets pressed or his first touch may not be on point. And then it led to a chance where Mitrovic could have done better. So I think his overall performance was average.
Okay.
But then again, you do have the advantage with Trent, those balls in behind, if you have Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
Which does benefit the team, because I don't think Rice is quick enough to release the ball when someone makes a run. He did kind of delay the play at times yesterday. But when you have someone like Trent in an advanced position, you are at an advantage.
Nah, man, I fully hear it. Big up Jerry and big up Tereak. Thank you guys for joining us this early morning, man. Hope you two are doing well, by the way.
Yeah, all good, G. Appreciate you for inviting me on. And yeah, man, looking forward to chopping it up.
Nah, man. It's all good. Listen, look, I might as well get you guys, your take behind everything. Oh, no, we got another member joining in. Big up Ennie as well. Big up Ennie. Hope you're doing blessed, my bro. So I'll start with you, Jerry. Love for jumping in, by the way, bro. I know you're busy in that. Just your kind of general overall thoughts on the game as a whole. Obviously, we spoke before the game in terms of how everybody is micro-analyzing, not just Trent, but the whole team, whether good, bad, over-exaggerate, etc., etc. But how did you see the game?
I think, if I'm being honest, I think England, I think what I realised is that no matter what era England playing, so whether you're talking about 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, they've all got the same issue, is that it's mad, because when you think about it, apart from Bellingham that exudes that type of confidence that now, I'm going to try and get on the ball and all of this, the rest of our players haven't got that in them, innit? They just haven't got them in them. And then what happens is you're in a situation where you're doing the basics well for the first 15, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden it just starts to fade away. And England have had this issue no matter who's been in charge, what players have been there. And it's just, I guess, I don't know, I think it's just part of the English DNA, innit? I think Serbia obviously put up a good fight, but if we're being honest, especially the way they started, it was a team that you should have just, they should have just got pasted, innit? Yeah. If we're being honest, I know they've got a good team, but it's like what I told you guys when we spoke about the whole, they've got Vlahovic, this person. Listen, if that ball's not getting direct into them, they're not going to have an impact on the game. So you need to dominate the other facets. And I think the problem we have is, again, it's the same issue we've got. We're trying to put all our best players on the pitch without actually having a system to enable them to play well. So, you've got Kane on the pitch, but Kane wants to do up false DM and stand on Trent's toes and stand on Bellingham's toes.
Yeah.
There's no focal point. So even when you're under pressure, there's no way out. Saka at times was the only one out there, but he naturally wants to come and get the ball. Foden's coming inside into midfield, and they've got that nice rotation that was working well. But it only worked well when Kane was really high and wide. They didn't get involved in the game. As soon as Kane started getting involved in trying to get involved in build-up, there was nothing. We couldn't do anything. And every time we cleared the ball, there was no one high and wide. You have Trent on the pitch, and you want him there again. I know people keep talking about, is he like, he's not press resistant, he's this, he's that, he's not the most press resistant. Like, you don't need him to be that press resistant guy, because what you want him on the pitch there to do is to be the difference between winning and not winning, or getting a goal or not getting a goal, which is that ball in behind, that ball in between the lines, that he's the only one that seems to be able to go and play that pass on a consistent basis. The rest, apart from, but there's no point having him on the pitch if at every opportunity you're going to look at him and be like, you know what? Yeah, you're just going to, like, he looks up and there's no options. There's no runs in behind. There's no Salah making a run. There's no Mane making a run. I go back and it's like, imagine you had Pirlo in 2012 when Italy were in the Euros, and Pirlo had that amazing Euros, but you didn't have Balotelli stretching the pitch and just staying up top, and you didn't have Giaccherini making runs in behind. He'd look useless as well, because in transition he'd be dead. Defensively he'd be poor as well. But when you haven't got, with Trent, when you haven't got those runners, then obviously you get to a point where you could have put anyone in there. It could have been Calvin Phillips, it could have been Ward, it could have been Mainu, you could have put whoever in there, Gallagher, and it was just like a similar type of, obviously, game, because you weren't utilising his skill set. And I don't even think that's more down to Southgate, because I think in international football, it's more so about the individuals more than anything. Like, you haven't got months and months and months to work on systems and get people used to each other. This is about how quickly can the unit gel together, and how quickly can they just go and play to their best ability. Foden didn't do that. Kane didn't do that, innit? And especially in that forward line, they're the ones you're expected to step up. They're the ones you're expected to show, all right, show me. Like, Saka showed it a bit, but you need to be like, all right, come on, get the ball. Like, I don't want to hear, like, Foden, but he's not playing in his 10 and he's not doing this. When Iniesta was playing out wide for Spain, no one complained, didn't it? He didn't complain, and he was bagging winners. So I don't want to hear about, but he's not in his favourite position. That's madness. Wherever you're playing, the best players rise to the top. Bellingham, obviously, for Real Madrid, has been playing in the 10 or even playing as a striker at times, and the cream rose to the top, innit? He performed well. Man weren't saying, but he's not, he can't do it because he's not playing in his 8, and that's why he played for Borussia Dortmund. It's like, no, you should just be able to perform. And I think that the players, they shrank a bit, innit? And obviously it's Serbia, the Warriors, and obviously it's one game, so I'm not going to be reactionary. They can still turn it up. Like, it's just what we're discussing, one game. But if they put a performance in like that, or they try to go and try ball out against like a Spain or a Germany, I think they're in for a rude awakening. I think you've got to flip the script and just understand that we're a direct team, and we need to utilize the fact that we can be direct. And if we're direct, I think England will cause problems, innit?
Hey, listen, man, I agree with a lot of what you said, man. We're then over to you, Tereak, man. Yourself, man, obviously, Saka, your boy. He had a decent game, of course, yesterday, but just looking at, of course, again, same question to you, really. How did you kind of look at it? Again, me and you, we talk quite a lot offline, and I know we always, like, all of us here really on the panel, actually, like, we all see what the reactions are like from everybody on social media. We get it, and we know how people can overreact and over criticize at times. But how did you kind of see the performance, in your eyes?
Yeah, the typical cliche of a game of two halves, really. Because I thought the first 30 minutes, it looked quite positive and bright. Going forward, it was nice to see those sort of rotations, and having watched every game in the tournament so far, it's like looking at the likes of Germany and Spain, how they were rotating, Italy against Albania. I saw shades of that from England in the first 30 minutes. I was like, okay, I'm liking this. We're dominating possession. We're getting into advanced areas, not really creating too many chances of note. Foden was getting in a nice area, and I was like, okay, this is the way the game's set up, and it's looking good. And then, of course, we grabbed the first goal in the first 13 minutes, and onto the back of what Jerry was saying there, it came from Walker, but it's the type of pass you'd expect Trent to make. But there's only one person looking to make that run in behind, and it was Saka, because everyone else wants the ball to feet. Kane likes to drop deep, as Jerry said, and we all know that anyway. And Phil Foden dropping in there doesn't really make many runs in behind. So the only person that was Saka, and that's where we got the goal. from in the end, and it was a good late run from Bellingham, and it was a great start. And then it was soon after that, don't forget, it's where Trent won the ball back in midfield. So when people were so worried about Trent defensively out of possession, I noticed in that first half, especially, he was winning the ball back, turning over, in getting the ball back for England in positive areas. He won it back. We played it forward out to Carl Walker, into Saka, and then I think it was Carl Walker. Then Carl Walker had the opportunity where he should have cut it back for Foden, but he kind of went for that cross last shot. And then after that, the game sort of faded a little bit. I've seen Southgate's comments afterwards talking about that, how many players haven't even played like 90 minutes for a while. Because we know with Trent, let's not forget, he's not played many 90 minutes for Liverpool in the second half of the season since his knee injury. So that's why I think he faded out a little bit towards the second. And there is definitely an overreaction. I understand the concerns because of how that second half went. I was frustrated watching it, but there is a little bit of an overreaction in terms of how it went out. I think what Gareth Southgate should have done was recognize that the game changed earlier and then made those substitutions. Hence, he didn't end up bringing on a Gordon, but bring on someone that can stretch the game a little bit more, that can give you more of a threat going forward. Taking off Foden, don't be afraid to do that because the game changed. And tactically, in the second half, it wasn't suited for Foden because we didn't have enough of the ball where he would like to get in between those half spaces, in between the midfield and the defensive line. He wasn't able to impact, so we needed someone to stretch it further and to provide that counter-attacking threat. We lost the influence of Saka in the second half. We lost the influence of Trent in possession because he played a few nice balls. I remember one in particular in the first half when he flicked one over the top of the fullback and got Saka in behind there. We wanted to see that a bit more, but it is the first game in the tournament. England, we've watched them how many times under Southgate, not starting impressively. We didn't start impressively against Croatia, and we managed to make it all the way to the final there. I mean, that was a 1-0 win. But there was things that were, of course, that we need to work on. Trent again, we didn't get him involved in the second half. Saka, but I was quite impressed with us defensively, which was my biggest concern going into the tournament, and it still is a concern against the top nations when we are coming up against a Spain or Germany or France. I want to see how we pose then. But a lot of the people talking about the threats that Mitrovic and Vlahovic would have didn't really do much, and the best chance that they had was when Trent gave away possession in the first half under Mitrovic. So I thought Mark Gay was excellent as well. But there was some positive performances, and there was a lot of worry about Walker, and I thought he was quite decent.
Yeah, he was calm. Yeah, he was.
So there are some positives, and there are definitely things to work on. But first game in a tournament, let's not get too over the top, which I've seen on social media, but that's what it is like with England.
Nah, man. I agree, man. That is typical social media, man. Man, chat to me, bro. Chat to me, man. Hope you're doing well as well, by the way. Man. Like, how you? Yeah, really, just same question I've asked everybody else. Like, how did you kind of see? You know what I mean, the game and stuff. Of course, look, we're obviously chatting in the group, and obviously we're busting up at like a couple bits and bobs. You know, typical as Jerry said before, bro. We got Kane, and we'll talk about that in a second. Kane playing whatever position that is. You got Foden doing up left wing, and I'm like, all right, this doesn't look like the left wing I thought he was gonna play. But yeah, man, how did you see it?
Yeah, no, I agree with large parts of what's already been said. It was obviously a game of two halves. The first 30 minutes were very encouraging from England. I thought they looked very fluid in the first 30 minutes. It looked like they were going to dominate the whole game, and I was like, okay, cool, this actually looks kind of impressive. I thought Bellingham was unbelievable, to be fair. And I haven't been Bellingham's biggest fan. I can't say I've watched loads of Real Madrid this season, but whenever I've watched him, he's never performed like that. And I just feel like in this team, he feels like he's obviously adopted that winning mentality from Real Madrid, and he feels like he's the superstar. Like you could tell in it, the way he was just barging through players, talking a lot of smack, feeling himself, feeling himself still. But it was good to see still. I was very impressed with that performance still. I can't lie. It kind of surprised me still. I didn't really know he had that in him. I just thought he was everywhere with the slide challenges as well. He was beating his man. There was a time on the left wing where you could just tell, like, he kind of done too much in it, but you could just tell, like, the confidence was oozing. He beat his man like 2 or 3 times, but he was purposely just bringing the ball back just so he could beat him again. And you could just tell the confidence was oozing. So I thought he was terrific. So he definitely deserves a shout out. Foden obviously a bit anonymous on the left, but that's like I can't really say I'm shocked, bro. That's not really the position that he plays. I don't really know what role he was supposed to be doing. I know Kieran Trippier was kind of keeping the width, so maybe Foden was supposed to be coming inside a little bit more, but I can't really, like, in my head, I can't really remember too many moments that Foden done anything. Kane, bro, I'm so bored of this gimmick, bro. Coming to DM, trying to win fouls, bro, waiting for penalties so your name can be in the headlines, bro. I'm bored, man. Throughout that game, I just wanted Ollie Watkins to come up because at least he's an outlet, someone that, if you're going to keep the likes of Trent on the pitch, someone that Trent can find with his long range passing. Speaking on Trent, I don't think we got the best out of Trent simply because of Foden playing on the left. He's a ball to feet player. He wants to come to the ball, or he wants the ball to feet. He doesn't really want to make those runs in behind. He can at times, but it's not his main focus. Someone like Gordon would obviously be a better fit if you're going to play a Trent in midfield, and obviously someone like Watkins up top as well. Someone who's going to make those runs. Very similar to a Darwin Núñez, but obviously just a bit more clinical. Maybe not even a bit more clinical, just more.
I was gonna say, like, don't be nice, bro. He's definitely more clinical still.
Just more clinical in it. But touching on the Trent thing, though, I know Jerry slightly touched on whether or not Trent needs to be pressure resistant or not. I kind of disagree with what Jerry was saying because I do feel like as a midfielder, you do need a certain level of pressure resistance. I'm not saying that you need to like always get the ball and then drop a shoulder on the half turn, beat man all the time. But I'm just saying sometimes just like knowing when to pop it off. Or I got a man on me, I'm not going to take a touch, just pop it off. And I don't feel like Trent quite has that understanding yet, even though he grew up as a midfielder, because that, like, you're going to be that situation where he lost the ball on the edge of the box. You're going to be put in that situation like a lot of times as a midfielder if you're going to do that role, bro. So you need to be comfortable. We need to know that. Like Mac 10, if that's Mac 10 for Liverpool, I'm going to bring it back to Liverpool a little bit. If that's Mac 10, we know Mac 10 is probably control it. Even at Endo, I trust Endo to get out of that situation, but Trent looked so uncomfortable, bro. And like, it wasn't even like the press was that mad. Like, the press wasn't that crazy.
You know what it is, though, Eddie? You know what it is, Eddie, though? We've seen McAllister give away the ball there. And what I'm trying to say is, I hear it. I understand that. But I don't think, I think, again, as G said, because we're watching him and we're watching to see what he does, it's again, he makes that one mistake and it's mad. I've seen Declan Rice do that for Arsenal.
Rodri?
Like, you're gonna, exactly, especially when you're in that position, you're gonna make a mistake. And I'm not looking at it thinking, oh yeah, because he made that one mistake, I don't know if I can play him there, because ultimately I'm looking at it, it's like, what is this, like your second, third game here? And you're just playing in a mad tournament, he's going to grow into that position. So if you're going to play him, you have to play him now and see how he copes with it, innit? Because when he's doing it for Liverpool, he's doing it for Liverpool before, and he hasn't lost the ball. When he's coming,
but you know what?
Receive that.
You know it is, Jerry, though, because obviously I had this opinion. I'm not being reactionary to that mistake that he made. I had this opinion that he wasn't pressure resistant in the first place. And let's not act like we haven't conceded goals this season or the season that just went from Trent not being able to take a touch in the midfield. I know it was kind of earlier than in the midfield, but it happened like twice, I think. Or maybe the Newcastle one, you could kind of say that wasn't really in the midfield, but there was definitely a game where I think he took a loose touch. Yeah, I just don't think. I just don't think he's like. I just don't think he's like that, man. When it comes to like receiving the ball, you know, playing the game when your back's when you have your back to the game, bro, it's completely different. I just feel like someone tweeted it. I can't remember who it was, but I just feel like we're taking a world-class right back or someone who was a world-class right back, someone who we deemed as a world-class right back, and turning him into an average midfielder. I don't think he's going to excel in midfield, bro. Like what he done yesterday, I don't feel like Adam Wharton could have come on and done the exact same thing, bro. Kobe Mainoo could have come on and maybe even possibly done a better job, bro. Like I wasn't cool. Trent performed all right, but I wasn't wowed. Like when I'm thinking of Trent in midfield, people are telling me, yeah, he's going to be the KDB, and maybe that's me misprofiling. Maybe that's my mistake for misprofiling him. But people are telling me, oh, he's going to be this KDB sort of person in midfield. He's going to be doing this, doing that. I don't know, man. I'm not so convinced. I can't lie, man.
But you see in a situation where, for example, if England had runners, right? That's where Trent would go and excel in it, because ultimately, that's like, when man used to just go and say like, like it's the equivalent of like, if like if Perla didn't have any like runners and there was no players to go and find and stuff, and man would just pass the ball left and right, sideways, just keeping the ball, man would be like, anyone could go and do that. Anyone can just go and obviously just try and keep the ball. And what I'm saying is, yeah, but would Wharton have done way better? Would Kobe Mainoo have done way better? And then they wouldn't, then having that ability of Trent where he can go and make that pass, right, is the difference, again, will be the difference between you potentially scoring and not scoring. And then, and I go back to the right back situation. The right back position that Trent had was unique towards him. It was geared around him. So when he gets up, you don't have to go and track back. You don't have to defend. But if you want your right back to like defend and do what Walker did, essentially, I don't think Trent would have been able to go and do that. I actually don't in that game. So then you have to think about, yeah, I know Trent was a world-class right back, but was he just world-class when he played, or was he just this world-class right back? Or did he have this world-class ability to play passes from that area of the pitch? Because I never looked at Trent and thought he's this world-class lockdown right back. Yeah, he played in the right back position, but again, it's all fluid, isn't it? It's all fluid. It's all a fluid thing. So I hear it, but like this idea that, yeah, just because Trent plays right back for Liverpool, he needs to play right back for England. It's like, not really, because if he goes and tries to play right back for England, but Southgate wants his right back to do X role, and he can't do X role, then ultimately he's nullified. Imagine him doing what Walker was doing and being part of the back three and building like that.
You know what it is about that right back for England thing? I'm not even saying playing right back for England. I'm just saying don't just drop him, bro. As looking at it from an England point of view, in it, bro. Like if you can't get the best out of Trent, just drop him, bro. And you can't play him right back either, then he's just got to go, bro. Because I'm saying I feel like there's like the way he's trying to play. I feel like there's other options that you could probably get better out.
What I would also say to that, Ennie, is I hear that, and then when you're talking about the makeup of the team, but I don't think it's just Trent, why he suffered and why England suffered, especially towards the second half. Because Jerry also said in terms of when Kane dropped deep, that's also affecting Foden, and the knock-on effect for that with too congested in that middle. Like, we needed players to stretch the game a little bit more. And then you see better from Kane, you see better from Trent, who were probably two underperforming players. And then even with Foden, you would see a better sort of outfit with him. Like, look at how he plays for that Man City team. The best of Foden hasn't been with a false nine. It's been with Haaland, who stretches the play, who gives him that space and makes it even bigger of a gap between the defense and midfield. And then he picks up those little pockets where he's able to drive and push. And then was Haaland, and whilst Alvarez or Haaland's pushing the defenders back, he gets that time to shoot. And we've seen how many goals from him from the edge of the box. Whereas that's a lot more congested because Jude's dropping into there, Kane's dropping into there, and we're not having that width held by Trippier naturally. He held width, but he was never going to be a threat going down the left because he always cut back and played it on his right foot. That's the problem that I've seen with this England team, and that's what I want Southgate to do, because I don't mind him. I've said this on Twitter yesterday. I would still start this same team against Denmark, but what I want him to do is recognize when the game changes, we're not able to get Foden into the game or Trent or even a Kane, whoever. Make those changes quicker, recognize it quicker, Southgate, because that's what your bench is for. That's what in these international tournaments, it's even more crucial, because look at the size of your bench. You're meant to have all those different profiles. Why I wasn't against Grealish coming to the tournament, because you got Eze who can do a similar thing in terms of ball retention and creativity. I wanted Rashford into that team, but if he was going to have Gordon have a bigger role in the squad, I hear it, because he can do similar things to what Rashford does in terms of stretching the player on that left. So it's all about using the team properly and understanding when the game changes, what are you going to do? I didn't think Gallagher was the right substitution to bring on first. I thought it should have been Mainu earlier on. Someone who's a bit more comfortable in possession, can be combative in the midfield, and give you that sort of energy up and down. But for Trent, and that's nothing against Trent, I just thought because the situation changed, we weren't able to get him on the ball, and there was no one running in behind, because the only person, look, as you see in the average positions there, what G's brought up, who's the person that's furthest forward? It was Saka. But in the second half, Saka was basically anonymous in that sense. So yeah, that's why I thought the game, Southgate's got to recognise that quicker.
Nah, man. Listen, look, I feel like, especially when we're looking at, you know what, it's not even just Trent, actually. I was just about to start a monologue on Trent, but it's actually not just him, though, because I think when we're looking at all of these kind of players, or should I say most of them, so the Trents, the Fodens, the Kanes, Gordon, Saka, whatever, it seems like, and listen, look, England won 1-0. So the reality is, tournament football, you don't actually really care about the performance. You're just trying to get the 3 points and bounce. So on that side, I get it. As in, he's not going to care. Gareth Southgate's not going to look at this and be like, oh my goodness, like, you know, this was poor and etc. etc. He's really and truly going to just look at it and think, listen, we can get better. We know we can play better, etc. etc. No worries. But to the point that everyone's kind of making here, it's like what I was saying before about Trent and about Foden and about Kane and about all of these guys. They're so unique in most of them in what they do that you're trying to fit all of these unique players into playing a style of football that is kind of alien to all of them. That you haven't even really got a style that fits Trent. You haven't really got a style that fits Foden. You haven't really got a style that fits Kane or Saka. Like, I feel like you're trying to fit all of these unique players into just this whatever system you're trying to do. So this is why we're going to get these kind of weird performances, because you are kind of misprofiling a lot of these players. Like, look at, I think we spoke the other day about Spain when they obviously were dominant and stuff like that. Why were they so dominant? Because majority of that team played one style of football, which is the Barcelona style, plus the few stragglers and the few extras in Real Madrid and other teams dotted around. But their main focal point was that Barcelona style. When you've got Xavi, the midfield three of Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets, you can do things like that. David Villa, Pedro. When you've got all of these guys, Piqué at the back, Puyol at the back, you can do that. Jordi Alba, like, you've basically got a Barcelona team. Effectively, you can go and do that. You know, with Germany, when they've got the German way of playing, whether it be Bayern Munich or the intensity of a Borussia Dortmund or whatever, you can go and do that. I don't know if anyone here, can you tell me what is England's imprint? What is England's style of football? I don't think any of us can realistically say that, because in the Premier League, we've got so many different ones. Yeah, go on.
What I think it needs to be, they need to be direct. Like, they need to go and get the ball back to front as quickly as possible and attack that way and show their intensity, show their physicality. Like, they need to go and do that. This idea, like, that they can go and ball. I know, like, we think individually, like, you look at like a Foden, you're like, yeah, he's balling. But let's just be honest, like, to do that at Man City when everyone on the team's a baller is calm. For Trent to be like, to ball out, like we're talking about, even getting the ball in midfield, as Ennie's saying, you're doing that when you're around the best players, innit? Problem is, when you're coming into your international team and you got to show, like, all right, show what you're about. The only one that really showed it, and it's mad to even think, because that profile of player usually isn't the one to go and do that. When you think of, you know, that players like a Neymar, like a Zidane, like these players that exude that ability. Like, no, give me the ball, I want the ball. It's a Jude Bellingham doing that, and it shouldn't be like Foden with his ability should be the one doing that. Give me the ball here, and I'm gonna go and win us the game. But he's not doing that. It's only Bellingham, and that's the problem for me. There needs to be what England need to do is. I get they want to go and build up around this, and City are here. Just no, go back to what England are really, really good at. When England have been good in like, you go back to like Michael Owen, right? And how well they did in, I think it was in Euros or whatever, with Michael Owen. What did that England team have? Pace in behind, pace, direct. When you go and look at Euro 2004 with Rooney, pace, direct. It was just direct. I remember first couple games with, like, when Foden, you know, when he done the Gascoigne thing, the last Euros, right? What was Foden doing? He just runs in behind. And that was what was like catching players. Like, oh my God, it's like Foden doing this. You need to learn him when he's done well. You need to go and play that style of football. Because ultimately, that's what, like, we talk about grassroots football and what, like, culturally, what do English players know? It's that. Do you know what I mean? Culturally, Spanish players play like this. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to always be like, all the players play for the same team. But when you come back to your national team, that has to be a bit of a culture about you. It's like when Italians play, they know, yeah, we're going to be quite defensive and we're going to set up, and we know, like, we're going to, do you know what I mean? Like, it's ingrained in them. Within English players, the way Bellingham plays, the way like a Gallagher plays, that's ingrained in that. And on top of that, you've also got good real ball players. But you need to, your first point of view is like, how can we go and be as effective as possible? And being effective means that, hey, Kane, stay high and just stay high and hold up the ball for us there. Don't come deep and keep trying to win fouls. Because me personally, I think he was the worst player. He affected everything there.
He was shocking, bro.
Foden gets the ball. He's trying to go and link up with him, but he's mad close to him. It's like, stay high, make the runs in behind. Like as Tyreek just said, just bruv, just stay high and create that space for me. He doesn't want to go and do that. When he did that in the first 20 minutes, when he was patient, yeah, he didn't get loads of touches of the ball. But guess what he did? He created loads of space for Saka and everyone, Bellingham, to get the ball in those half spaces. It was looking fine. As soon as he started dropping deep because he wants to get involved in build-up play, then he's not even in the box when the ball's coming into the box, right? So it doesn't matter. And then when we're clearing the ball and when we're under pressure, there's no one to even hold the ball up because it's going over his head and he's in line with Bellingham when the ball's being cleared. It's madness to me. Like,
absolutely. And that annoyed me when the commentators and the English people were saying, he's doing a selfless job. Like, no, he's not.
Bro,
no, he's not.
it was
He's
pissing me off, man.
He's wanting to get involved in the game, as Jerry says, and he's causing a big impact and knock-on effect to the team. It was annoying to see that over and over again, and that's why we weren't able to see the best for so many players, as we say. And my thing is I think that we from the likes of Foden and Kane. For Foden, for someone who's won so many trophies in this Man City team and have been outstanding this season, player of the season, rightly so, I need to see a bit more of a mentality of, as you said there, and as what Eni alluded to, is go out there and take this on your shoulders and take the responsibility as the man. We need to see that. Jude did it. Jude's done it well. We've seen Saka do it for England. We've seen Musiala, exactly. Musiala, Wirtz, even like those players do it. We can't. We're not in a position anymore at England where it's like we're not producing talent. We're not producing players that don't have the technical ability that can match a Germany. No, they can. Foden is put in that level. He's in them same conversations. A lot of people say above Musiala. In their eyes,
which is criminal.
I don't agree, but he's in the conversation. But we need to see more of that from Foden in an England shirt when things aren't necessarily tailor-made for you in terms of how Man City are. You're always going to dominate the ball. Let's see what you can do in it and how impact this game and do that. But we need to. I think Carl Walker also said it leading up to the tournament. To see the Foden that we've seen and for Man City, we need to show more bravery. And that's a big thing for Foden, man. Like, he gets... And I'm not just solely pointing it out on him because we mentioned Kane. I didn't think Stones was particularly great either.
Running in quicksand at one point.
Oh my days, running in quicksand, bro.
I told you, bro. It's like that dream that you have where you're running, but you ain't running nowhere. Like, you're running, and you're running your fastest.
You know when... You know on FIFA when you run out of energy and then you're you can't.
Fatigued. He was fatigued, bro.
It was actually mad. Let me just big up everybody, by the way, in the comments, by the way. Like, I can see what you guys are saying, and to be honest, it's a lot of what these guys on the panel, they're saying here, this morning. It's just, I just feel like it's what Jerry's basically saying. I feel like England just, and I've always asked for this. I beg you, just have your own identity and use that. Forget what people think about that identity. Forget what that might be perceived to be. Bro, you've got an identity of football. Like, you actually do, which is that Bellingham, that passion. We might laugh at it because it's like, to me, it's like an intangible thing, innit? Like, it's not something that can really be quantified. I can't tell you what metric I can use passion for, or sorry, what metric I can judge, passion. I get that. But that's what you guys are on, though. That's what you guys have. Hence why Bellingham looked so good yesterday, because he's showing that, as well as obviously being a very good player himself. But England, we can't all sit here and now and all of a sudden say Foden ain't a baller, Kane ain't a baller, Saka ain't a baller. Like, we can't sit here and say these guys ain't all ballers, because you probably give or take all of these guys on a normal given Premier League day. We'd probably take all of them. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that's where I'm always like, I just don't get why England have just never. And listen, look, guys, I know England won 1-0 yesterday, and this is the vim that I'm giving England, but it's just annoying to see on such a consistent basis whenever you watch England, and it's not just Southgate. I can't even say it's just him, because I've seen it since my first tournament. What was it, 98, the 98 World Cup. And even then, as Jerry said, I was even more excited about that because we actually played to our strengths, which is Michael Owen. He got pace, get him in behind. Let's do that, kind of thing. Shearer, all these other kind of guys. You played to their strengths. Ever since then, I just feel like we're doing too much. We're doing way, 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 way too much. But let me just get to a couple of these questions, and then we'll just do a quick, player ratings, and then, yeah, man, we can head we can head out. Big up Honesty. He's saying a question: has Stones ever recovered from his last injury? Because since then he is not the same. That's interesting. He doesn't look like he's recovered. I'll be honest, man. He looks so slow at times. He's sick, by the way. I like Stones. I like Stones a lot, but at times I'm always like, I know you're slow, but Jesus Christ, man. Sometimes you do get like you. And yesterday wasn't the only time I've seen that. By the way, I've seen this. I've seen it happen to him a couple times where I'm like, bro, like. You're quicker than this, though. Like, surely you're quicker than this. Maybe I've just not seen it. Maybe
that was Mercer levels, bro. That was Mercer levels, bro. That was bad, bro.
He's not played many games.
He definitely was better than him yesterday.
Yeah. Oh yes, 100%. 100%. 100%.
He's not played many games this season at all, and he wasn't good against Man United in the FA Cup final.
Nope.
They missed Diaz. And you could kind of see Pep was bringing him into that game. I know it's an FA Cup final, but Pep's like, all right, let's try and get you fit for the Euros. Let's try and get you some minutes actually under your belt because you weren't playing that much for Man City. It was Akanji, Diaz, Ake at times. And he was missing a lot of games. I remember when we played them, he was on the bench and he didn't even get brought on. Yeah, Stones is not. This is the problem when you've got so many players that aren't fit enough, that haven't been playing consistently. Even Trippier, he's not played much, and that was his first full 90 minutes for a long time. We've got Luke Shaw as our backup left back, and he's not played since February. So I do. When I first said earlier, I am expecting a slow start, but I'm also expecting us to grow throughout this tournament as players. Trent playing in midfield. This is the first time in a tournament in a game with high stakes he's playing in midfield, so I don't expect him to be at tip-top best, and I expect him to grow. I expect him to be better against Denmark. I'm not expecting a world-class performance, that we see from Trent when he's Liverpool at Liverpool, when the system and the team is tailor-made for him, but I'm expecting an improvement as he feels more comfortable and understanding his teammates. And because how many times has Trent played in midfield with this group of players? Not many times. And even Harry Kane's coming off of an injury. I see someone was saying in the chat, he looked injured. He missed a lot. He missed the end of the season, essentially. After the round
as well.
Yeah. So I'm expecting players to slowly get through the gears and get back into it. But yeah, that will come on later in the tournament. The proof will be in the pudding for that, though.
I think, let's see, because the way that England are like the performance levels and the energy levels, it's either going to improve, and it's like I remember Jerry, I was saying this the other day, England are either going to do really well or they're going to do shit, and I feel like the energy levels, that it's going to mirror that it's either going to grow throughout the tournament, or I think they're just going to just falter just because they just don't have no more energy, because it just looks like half of these players are all tired already and we're only now beginning the tournament. So unless they can, obviously that can, I wouldn't say get better, but just maintain what it is now, and they can do enough to just keep getting through these games, whether it's just 1-0 throughout the remainder of the tournament, who cares, because then you win it. But I just don't know. And again, I'm looking at all these other teams, and more so the big teams. Germany didn't, obviously I know Germany played Scotland, so there is a bit of context to it, but it didn't look tiresome. But okay, we'll take that away. When I'm looking at these other teams, Italy, they looked like they look calm. They look calm. I know it was 2-1, but they look calm. Netherlands, the same thing. It'll be interesting to see, obviously, of course, France, when they come up and they play their game this evening. But yeah, none of these teams, like these top teams anyway, they didn't look like their players are tired or anything. Like England already look shot. They already look like, yo, man.
You know what I think? You know what I think will be mad for England, though, yeah? And it goes back to what I'm saying about, you're talking about identity, is if they go and try and, outplay, a Spain at what they do, like the confidence, the shot of confidence that the likes of Foden, the likes of all these players will have, maybe Bellingham because he's got a different mentality about him, but the rest of these players will be mad, because they'll realize, actually, you start ex-pros, and if you played football, you realize that you might have come up against a certain team and you're like, raw, like the levels like this. I thought I was that good, but the levels they're here, man. And I think, and I think that's what they need to get out of their head. I think if England decide to go and play the way they want to play, and ironically, use like, I don't know, let's use the Premier League as an example. You see, if England adopted more of like a Liverpool style of football, right, where we're not looking to go and try outplay, but we're going to be intense, we're going to be in your face, we're going to go very back to front as quickly as possible. It will suit England better than trying to kind of replicate kind of what City and Arsenal are doing. Because what you can do is, because what you will see is the best versions of Walker will come out. The best versions of Kane will get more chances. Of course, then you can drop him, but then you have runners in behind. Saka will be able to perform well. Trippier will be able to perform well, or Walker or whatever. And it helps the team. It suits their characteristics a bit more. And English players, like culturally, when you've grown up playing like grassroots or in academy, everything's intense. Everything's speed, fast. And yeah, that can be to your detriment sometimes. That's why you need a couple of these players that can slow the game down, like a Carrick or whatever. But if you can go and utilize those best abilities out of England, I think England could do really well. I think the problem you have is when you go and try to outplay these teams. Or if we try to do like what we did against Serbia, against like a Spain, it would be mad. Or Croatia, it'd have been a mad game. They'd have picked us apart. And that's the worry for me, is that they've got to be careful. And I know there's this onus on like England to, we've got to dominate the ball and stuff like that. No, you have to. Yeah, the onus is on you to dominate the ball, but not in that way. You can be a bit more direct with what you do and still be effective and forget what anyone else thinks. Because at the end of the day, if you win the tournament, no one's complaining about how you won it when it won the tournament.
Exactly. Have that humility that France show.
Yep.
Nice. It's actually true, man. All right, let's go through player ratings for the starting 11. I'm not going to do subs. I never care about the subs, to be honest. Pickford, what you guys saying? I'll start from the top to bottom and then I'll work it and you guys let me know. Junior, what are you saying about Pickford, man? How do you think he did yesterday?
I don't think he had much to do, really. But he did make a decent save against Vlahovic from range, tipped it over the bar. Distribution was okay. So I'll give him a 7.
7.
I just want to ask quickly on Pickford. Sorry, is it just me? Because in the second half, I found it very frustrating, like how quick he was to go long in every occasion.
Yes.
Yeah, even Trent and Rice were getting onto him as well. I saw Trent and Rice like shying at him. Foden, because Foden was free and he wouldn't pass the Foden, and Trent was screaming at him.
Yeah, you see, like that's when we talk about the mismatch of like the systems. Like he was very jittery, but that's my bias towards him anyway. I'm not a big fan of Pickford, but he was so quick to go long, and he was like dilly-dallying on the ball, waiting until Serbia could get in their position, and then he just go long. And then we're working with scraps off Kane then, because Kane weren't winning too many battles. He did as the game drew on, but not initially. And that's where we lost control, man. So I wasn't too happy with Pickford for that.
No. I think the long balls are annoying. Go on, Jay. Tell me yours.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I'd probably give him like a 7 as well. But I think, again, like what Pickford was doing kind of made sense in it. Is like, you're popping the ball in midfield, but you might not really doing anything. Like Rice and stuff weren't even like, you weren't turning out of pressure well and stuff. You were just playing backwards and sideways in those positions. That's fine. Kane's just got to go and do his job in it as a centre forward. He's got to take on the role of Shearer or whatever, hold man off like Saka, like when Saka did it. Because when Pickford went long and Saka held off one of their things, we won the ball. I think he got fouled and we were able to get up the pitch. He needs to, that's what should have just been happening. Is he just knew, all right, cool, I'm not going to go and muck about with popping it into midfield, even though we all want to see that and that's what all the top teams play. England just got to respect that, right now, we're not really doing that. Do you know what I mean? We ain't got the players to go and do that. We ain't got the facilities to do that. Let's go long and then regroup there. If we can win the ball higher, then we can go and play out. And I think Kane, I was so, like, that's probably one of the worst performances I've seen.
He was bad, bro.
He had 2 touches in the first half.
No, but he kept like flopping on the floor, like.
Bro, that pisses me off.
Saka looked like he could hold up the ball better than him against one of those 6'5" centre backs. It looked mad to me. It looked mad, like so disappointing.
Very disappointing.
I'll probably give it a 7. I agree with Junior.
Tereak, I know you got your bias towards Pickford, but just the game. Take your bias out of it.
Yeah. I hear the 7. I'd say 6 because of that second half, and because I don't like when we keep turning over possession. And you could see it went through the rest of the England team. Like when I'm seeing Foden just boot the ball out, like that's not you, bro. Like that's not you. And I don't like that from England, and just like I said, just being happy to just sit in that position. So I'd say 6.
Any?
Yeah, I agree. I'd say 6 as well. I don't think he done enough for me personally to get a 7. Even the shot he saved, like I expect you to save that, and I think the shot was even went over anyway. Like so, like you didn't wow me, and the distribution was a bit slow. But the only thing I kind of do agree with Jerry though, if you're not comfortable doing like the tippy tappy stuff on the edge of the box, then just go long and try and win the seconds. In that case, I'd rather that than you lose the ball on the edge of the box and you can see the silly goal because of that. So yeah, I can't be too mad, but yeah, I say 6.
All right, I'll go 6.5 because we had 2 7s and 2 6s. So we'll go smack a bang in the middle. Let's go Trippier. Junior, what are we saying for Trippier, man?
I think Trippier was he was steady. He did defend his box well. He's a short defender, but I did see him clear the ball in the air a couple of times. He was holding the width, but I didn't see much of him from more of a going forward standpoint. He did make a run in behind, but I think that led to an offside. So I think Trippier for his defensive performance, I think he was good. So I'll give him a 7.
Jerry?
Yeah, I'd echo that, man. I think he's the only one up keeping width. He didn't really make any mistake. He won his headers. No, he won his headers. Like when you got the ball, he kept it. Like he ain't been in the best of form either this season, innit? So like from an attacking standpoint, it weren't like you weren't gonna get up like that. But he done all right, man. Like 7, innit? At the end of the day, look, it was a clean sheet, innit? So the defenders get props for that. It was a clean sheet. They defended their box well. I mean, if that was a performance in the final and you won a final like that, do you know what I mean? I've seen Madrid have games like that where they just had to sit in. So I know it's against Serbia, but yeah, for that game itself, I'll probably give him a 7.
You bro, Tereak?
Yeah, I agree with Junior and Jerry for that one. I think Julia said it well in terms of defended quite well, won his aerial duels, which was kind of a bit of a concern going into it. And given the fact he's out of position, you got to take that into consideration. I didn't expect him to do much on an attacking sense, but he held some decent width to try to stretch the pitch, I guess. Decent defensively, 7.
And any man, what are you saying for
Yeah,
Trips?
man, 7s all round. I agree with what's been said already. I don't really remember him making too many mistakes, but I just think he was good all round. I think passing was okay. Like you guys are saying, he did win his aerial duels as well. Yeah, 7, man. I can't really add much more to what's already been said, to be honest.
All right, Junior. Gay.
I think he was excellent. He also defended his box well. I think he did well against Vlahovic on that right side. So I'll give Gergi an 8. I think he was probably our best player.
I hear it, man. I hear it. Jerry, man.
Yeah, same.
I know there's the centre back brotherhood going on here with you. Know what I'm saying Junior, Jerry. I know you man are. Yeah, I mean the brotherhood and that. But go on, let me hear it. Let me hear it.
No, he was good in it. He was steady, done his job. Again, he's just very mature in how he plays. Like he's a very mature player. I know he's 23, but he plays that maturity. Like I'm just gonna do the basics well, innit? I'm gonna win the ball. I'm gonna pass it out wide. I'm gonna be calm. I'm not gonna rush passes. Like he's cool. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you can see why he was picked over like a Gomez that can be a bit erratic with what he does sometimes. I think he's just much more composed. Like just assured in himself. He don't overdo stuff. He's not gonna try carry the ball out. He's just I'm gonna keep the ball and keep it moving, and I'm just gonna be solid. So yeah, give him an 8 as well. 7.5, 8. Either one.
Tereak.
Yep, agree. The only thing I want to point out is he played a couple of really like progressive passes that split the lines. I think he found like Rice in a couple of nice areas, and I was quite impressed with that to show that sort of courage and bravery in your first England start in a big tournament. So yeah, agree 8.
What position do you play, Tereak?
I'm also a centre back, bro.
Yeah, I can feel when you were speaking, I could feel the energy. I'm like, this sounds way too centre backish. Like, you know what I'm saying? Bro, like, yeah, the back three right there, boy. Jesus Christ.
Hey, trust me, because it's easy as a centre back. When you're not having a good game, just pass it to your full back. When you
Listen,
play it
man.
into midfield, it's a different story.
One of that centre back
Eddie,
shit, man. One of that centre
Yeah,
back
I
shit.
know Eddie ain't no centre back, bro. Like,
He's
come on,
getting
there,
a,
chat to me, man.
he's
We
getting a
don't do
5. He's getting a 5, bro. Fuck that.
Eddie striker. That's a striker.
No, I'm
You know what
joking.
that is.
No, I'm joking. To be fair, now he was good. He was good. He did look assured, and he was definitely the better out of the two centre backs. I mean, based on that performance yesterday, if anything, he looked like the City defender, and Stones probably looked like the Palace level defender. So I think that's quite a good compliment. So I'd say you guys give him an 8. I don't know about 8. I don't know if he did enough for an 8. Maybe a 7, 7.5. 7.5, I'd say.
We'll give him 7.5 because I thought he was better than Trips in terms of his role within the team. So yeah, no, I'll give that. All right, let's go to the man who was running in quicksand, Junior, man. Chat to me about your other centre back brothers. How was John Stones for you, man?
So, I think Stones. I think he was. I think it was average. I'll give him a 5, but he's someone that I do look up to, and I think it's peak to see him like this now.
I can imagine.
Because if you look at like last season, as in, or maybe 2 seasons ago when he did the treble, he was excellent. When he inverted into, I mean, not inverted because he's central. When he stepped into midfield, and he was just a difference maker. But now it's not looking good for Stones with these injuries. So I'll give him a 5.
5. Jerry, man. Jerry there? Oh, no. Tereak, yourself?
Totally agree. Absolutely. The fact he didn't look anywhere near as assured as you'd like him to be. I remember there was one cross in the box and he just sliced it completely. I know he went out for a corner in the end and he got rid of it, but that just gives you a bit of nerves and the opposition a bit of encouragement as well. Yeah, and then that moment where he was looking like he was in quicksand, I think it was like the overlapping like centre back or something.
Bro, it looked
the speed,
mad.
And it was like, oh my days! If it weren't for Trippier cutting it out, he could have easily had an equaliser there. So yeah, 5 for me. Expect better, but I'm hoping he goes into the tournament as well.
I can't even lie. That was mad. Any?
I know the centre backs in here are very disappointed with his performance.
Yeah, I can imagine, bro.
Although I've come up against some fast strikers in my time, so I felt like Stones.
No. But
this guy went even fast.
Yeah,
this guy went fast, man.
Not that quick, but you know what? I can understand that if you yourself are not that, because listen, we know bare centre backs you ain't that fast, right? But this brother wasn't a striker. We're not talking about, and this weren't like Konate or Van Dijk or Saliba, where these men are actually like kind of quick, like, bro, this brother was not fast like that, and he's not even a striker or even a winger. I was like, bro, like you just let this lanky,
Listen, for that moment, he's lucky I don't give him a 2 because I can't unsee that, man. That was shocking. That was so bad. But I'll give him a 5 because obviously he didn't play to the level of a 2, but it's just not to the level that we expect. But touching on Stones though, because I forgot to mention when we were talking about Trent. Do you remember that season, the treble season, when he was like kind of doing that inverted thing? He was basically acting like a DM.
Yeah.
Would you guys play Stones in the midfield? Obviously, I know he's probably not fit now, but I'm saying, would you have played Stones in the midfield? Is that a viable option, do you think, or is that not?
I was thinking that earlier this season when the Euros were obviously upcoming. I was thinking, would I play Rice and Stones in a pivot with Stones advancing, just creating that overload in midfield? Then again, you would have to call up probably a more senior centre-back to the team because I don't want to see Gurhey and Dunk together, or I don't want to see Gurhey and...
It would be Maguire in it, but obviously Maguire's injured. That's the only thing.
Yeah. But...
Again, I think it's similar to how Trent is, and your worries with Trent in terms of back to play constantly. I know he's done with his back to play, but he also has that freedom to drop into the back line when he needs to. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily put him in the midfield, but I hear it in terms of giving him that role. But then you'd probably have to play Rice in a single pivot. And then I don't know what, maybe like move, I don't know, Conor Gallagher further up the pitch, or put Foden in that central role and a winger as well. So you have like more of like a 3 building up with 3, 2, and then 5 across the front line.
But the thing is, I think England, we don't really have that many like combative centre backs, as in like we don't have a Kanate. He's going to cover the ground, dominate most of his 1v1 duels. I do think we are weak in that pool. Obviously, we've got upcoming talents like Kwanzaa and Branthwaite, but I don't even think like they are as combative like a Kanate. Kwanzaa is he has been playing that Kanate role, but I wouldn't say that like that's his thing. Really.
Yeah, and just to point out, when Stones was doing that role, Carl Walker wasn't in the Man City team because Pep said he can't play that. Carl Walker can't play across in what I want to do when I'm building up in that way. That was before he signed the contract, and that's why I was a bit confused when he did sign the contract. But Man City changed how they played again.
Listen, when you got a manager as progressive as this guy who changes more or less every single season the way that his team plays, those things can work. And when you've got players when you've got like a core of players who are used to doing that, it can help massively, because if you try to do that in any other team where give or take every season you change up a little bit about what you do, bro, like it's not going to work every single season. You're going to see teething problems. But with Manchester City, it's like their teething problems only really come at like the beginning of a season, and then it's like they click into gear, and then all of a sudden, as we've seen, they just go on these stupid, stupid runs, man. But obviously that's just City, man. Carl Walker, speaking of a City player. Oh, you get I put him as a 5.
Cool.
We'll go with Carl Walker, man. Junior, what we saying?
I think Walker was steady. He didn't have as much to do as probably like a Gurhey, but he was steady and he held his own. So I'll give him probably like a 6.5 to a 7.
6.5 to a 7. Tereak?
Yeah, for me, I was impressed with him in the first half going forward. He was a threat. He had that opportunity where I think he should have done better with a cross.
I think he should have just shot. Like, I don't know why he didn't just shoot.
Exactly. I know. Shoot. He's one of them shot cross ones, isn't it? Where you get caught between two minds. Where he should have either just fully went for the pass or shot. Also played the good pass in behind for Saka for the goal. I'm happy to give him a 7, man. I thought, or maybe I'm being a bit too generous given the talk around him going into the tournament. But I'd say a 7.
I think 7's a fair score. What about yourself, Lenny?
I'm even gonna give him a little 0.5, a little bump on that. I'll give him a 7.5 because, like you said, that pass. I think. Do you know what it is? Sometimes when certain players do things, we don't give them enough credit. I think if Trent does that pass, we're like, oh yeah, that's typical Trent. That's a great defense splitting pass. But because it's
that's why he's in the team.
Literally that. If Trent had played that pass, bro, it would have been. That's why Trent's in the team. Obviously, because it's Walker, we're not really. It's like, oh, that's a nice pass from Walker. But we don't really give him the same amount of credit, I don't think. But I think that was a very, very good pass. Great way to pass for Saka, obviously. Defensively, Walker, did he get caught out too many times? I don't really remember him getting caught out a lot.
I don't think he did. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah. I think defensively he was solid. Obviously, like you were saying, Tereak, he had that chance where he got caught in between two minds. Could have done a bit better there, but obviously he still done well to get into position as well. And it just shows his attacking intent. So yeah, man, I'm happy to give him a 7.5. I thought he was good. One of the better players for England yesterday.
No, I'll keep it at 7.5, man. Because I agree. That's what I was gonna give him anyway. I felt like in that back line, him and Gay, I thought that they were two of the standouts in that back line anyway. Junior, man, Declan Rice, Deckers, Mr. Jollof himself. What we saying for him?
I think it's more. It's just from Rice. It's standard from him, as in like Arsenal when you're playing in the 6 sideways, backwards. It's just typical Declan Rice. Nothing too special, but he does sweep up really well, and that's what he was doing yesterday. A lot of ball recoveries, winning back possession. Nothing too special, so you'll get 6.5 to a 7.
Tereak, chat to me about your guy, Tereak, because he won less than 50% of his ground rules yesterday. And obviously, that's the guy I'm looking at to, mop up when everyone else is fart-arsing around there. Chat to me. Sorry, I had to only pose that to Tereak because that's his guy. But go on.
Hey, we're the Arsenal fan and that. But Nah, yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't amazing. He wasn't, prime best of Declan Rice that we've seen this season. But my thing is with Declan Rice, and having seen him play quite a bit now, he's a bit. He's one of them players. When the game gets bigger, he rises.
Yeah.
Like when it's at this level of game, he plays just standard, average. And I thought that's what he was really. Yeah, one thing with him is what I really want to see improve next season for Arsenal, not necessarily for England because it's an international tournament and so it's a bit different. But I want to see you take a bit more risks with your passing through the lines when the space is there. Go and play it earlier. But we know he won a couple of tackles, a couple of interceptions. So yeah, I'd say 6.5 for me.
6.5. Any? What we saying?
I agree. I can't really remember a lot of what he done. Maybe that is a good thing though, as a DM. Like he just went about his business and just kept things simple. Obviously, he wasn't as adventurous as maybe some people would like him to be, but that's just not his game. I mean, yeah, he could obviously try and work on it, but at the moment, that's just not his game. So I can't really expect him to do things that that's not what he does in it. He just kept it simple, kept it ticking. Yeah, 6.5 I think is a fair score.
6.5 it is. All right. The Scouser in the team.
I think Trent, he wasn't great. He wasn't awful. He was average. He did have, I think, 2 moments when he lost the ball. One where it led to that Mitrovic chance, and the other one where he tried to do like a roulette, and he lost a 50-50 but somewhat. But then, to be fair, he did get the ball back. But with Trent, hold square, left side, every game. He did win the ball back for, I believe, where he cut out a pass, and I think it led to a chance. Or I think when Saka cut it across for someone, but no one was in the box. So Trent, he wasn't bad, wasn't great. So I'll give him probably like a 6.5.
Nah, I hear you, man. It's just funny, man. Like when we think about Trent, like in this kind of position, it's like I was saying yesterday. Like I don't mind Trent. Like I have my feelings and my thoughts, which is I'd rather him play at the right back because that's where I've seen him play at his best. I've got no beef with no one who wants him to play in midfield. Cool, and I can actually understand to a certain degree why you want him to play there because you've seen what he does at right back. So in your head, why not move that further up the field, right? And he's already pushed up there. My only thing with Trent and watching the game yesterday was that, like we've kind of been saying, the role that you're giving him, as Annie said, brother, I could have kind of had anybody in there. I get that he can do things that those other players can't do. So you are looking for that one moment, but that's kind of null void now because you haven't got the other players in order for him to do that. There's no Gordon running in behind. Saka's not really running in behind as much, so to speak. Kane's dropping into these false DM positions. So the reality, and Trippier is not doing it. Like there's not enough players in order for him to even do what we know he can do. So you're not going to see it anyway. So why can't you play Mainu, who, as we've said, like is someone who's a bit more comfortable in possession, can bring the ball forward like a Jude Bellingham, get himself out of tight situations. I feel is more comfortable to play with his back towards goal than a Trent. Why not just play Mainu instead? If you're going to play Trent in that exact same role with all the other players, if you're not going to play Gordon, if you're not going to have someone who's overlapping, someone on that left-hand side, what's the point? Like that's kind of, and it's not Trent's fault, by the way. That's on Gareth Southgate for him to change that. Because until he changes that, for me, and again, like I say, Trent can do this one swing of a right boot, and I get all of that, but I don't know. Sometimes I look at it and just think, I thought seeing Trent in midfield, I thought I was going to see that, and I didn't see it. So I'm just like, well, this doesn't solidify the point that he should be in midfield for me anyway. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't see the clamor. Yeah, but the thing is, again, I'm not blaming even like solely him because he kept it disciplined. He was tidy at times on the ball. Yes, he lost the ball a couple times, but he was tidy enough, and I get that because that was what was asked of him, and he did that, no problem. But then I'm just like, I want him in there because of what he can do on the ball. I don't really care about the other side of things because I don't feel like he needs to show all of that. You know, and I felt like if we were a bit more adventurous, bro, we should have been putting teams like Serbia to the sword, especially in the moments when we scored the goal in that first 30 minutes. Like, you know, I just didn't really understand it with Southgate, but he's a twat anyway. Anyway, sorry, my little rant, but go on.
But nah, I agree. I agree what you're saying, man. And well, I want to ask you guys this question before I give my rating. Would you start him against Denmark in midfield?
Only if Gordon is going to play.
Yeah, that's the thing. Gordon someone needs to be running in behind. Like, he needs to play with someone running in behind. Otherwise, just put Kobe Mainoo there.
Yeah, literally. I'd rather you just play Kobe Mainoo and just have a comfortable midfield, like a midfield that can just play, rather than Trent being in there and he's doing safe passes to Saka, and people were telling me, "Oh, the combination's so great." I was like, "Bro, it wasn't great. It was just they were just passing in and amongst each other in like 5-yard passes. It wasn't all that." And again, I'm not blaming Trent solely here. That is on the twat of a manager that you've got, which is obviously Gareth Southgate. But sorry, go on.
Yeah, I would personally. I would still keep him in there because I did like what he did in that first half. And we know that moment that Trent has. I'm surprised not many more England fans do. It seems like Liverpool fans know it a lot, but not many others. How he can impact no matter what Trent's doing in that game. One pass, one run, goal changes the game, and we know how important those fine margins are in international football. You don't tend to get got like 3-3 thrillers all the time and all of that. So yeah, man, I'd still keep Trent in there. And I thought, again, game of two halves, 6.5 for me. When he was involved in the game, I thought he was okay. One pass down the line for Saka, really, but I want to see that more. And I'm sure as the teams get used and players get used to each other in this environment, I'm sure they will. So yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, let's hope so, man. Any?
I'm gonna give Trent a 6. I feel like, as if I'm just judging it as like a midfielder performance, which is like pre-average, maybe slightly above average, maybe be generous, say it's slightly above. But I just thought it was pretty average. Like, whatever side of the argument you sit on, whether you think Trent should be a right back or whether you think he should be playing in midfield, I feel like there was bits of evidence that you could have used to support your argument in that game. Like, for example, the interception. And there was a few good passes. That pass to Saka, I know you just mentioned that, Tereak. There was one that he pinged out to the left as well. I can't remember to who it was, but it was a good pass. But there was also examples of things that make you go, "Ooh, that looks a bit bad," you know. that looks a bit bad, man. So yeah, it's just like a 50-50 performance for me. I'd say 6 out of 10. The one thing I'd say about his performance, though, it just reminded me of like his Liverpool performance. It felt like he was playing inverted right back, but he was in midfield at the same time, like, because he kept on drifting out to the right as well. It just felt like what he was doing for Liverpool, like doing that fake right back thing. Sometimes he was out on the right.
It's what De Bruyne
does. Literally like a De Bruyne
like,
sort of role.
The thing is, because De Bruyne starts obviously more higher up the pitch, but when he comes to that more right mid position, or when he's in the half space, it does mirror De Bruyne. And like I said before at the start of the stream, this structure is very similar to City's, with Trippier holding the width, Gavardio holds the width, Haaland is just up top, Kane's just up top, but Kane does his own tactics, drop deep. So Southgate probably said to him, just stay up top, but he probably thought, I don't want to be like Haaland, I'm not getting any touches, I want to make something happen. But the thing is, when you have Kane, Foden, who else is there, when you have Trent, these guys are all good at possession, but you don't really need Foden to be coming inside, because you've got Trent, who is good on the ball, who can make stuff happen. You need that outlet, who can also make stuff happen. Gordon and Eddie can do what Foden does and also hold the touchline as well, as we see what he does with Crystal Palace. So it's kind of useless having Kane there. So like, I would prefer to see like a Watkins, if you're gonna do that role with having all of these ball to feet players, than having no one that can run it behind and stretch the defense. So I just kind of think it's a bit pointless. with that.
Junior makes a very good point as well, with that, because I wanted to see Trent whip it in from the half space a bit more, but the reason he didn't, because Kane went in the box all the time because he's too busy dropping in deep, and that's the frustrating part. If he was being a bit more like a number 9 who don't care about the touches, stay there, it's sort of run where he made for Bowen's cross, but from that half space, we know Kane's prolific from that. Even if it's on his left foot volley from there, he can smash it in. So yeah, man, we'll see a better Trent as this tournament goes on, I think.
Nah, man, I agree. Well, I hope we do anyway. Foden, Philip, young Gaza 2.0, Eminem. I don't know what you want to call this brother with all the stuff that he's done, but of course he again another player. And by the way, Tereak mentioned it earlier on. I think I heard Fabregas talk about this yesterday as well. What I will say on Foden is that regardless of the position that you're playing, bro, man, need to see more from you. Like, you need to want it more as well, Like, I get it, but you're not playing in some position where it's like, oh, the gaffer's told you, can you sit DM and just try play, bro? Like, where it's a bit alien to you. Okay, fair enough. We're like, okay, if he doesn't play well in there, we get it. We understand it's an alien position. Brother, you're playing left wing, a position that you have played a couple of times, not as much, but a couple of times for Manchester City. And with the freedom that you've got in that Man City team, it shouldn't be so alien to you. Like, I need to see just more from you. Like, bro, want it as well. Ask for the ball a bit more.
We've seen Foden play left wing before. A game that comes to mind is the quad chasing season in October against City 2-2. He was playing left wing against Milner, and he played well that game. I think he got man of the match. I think he got a goal and an assist, and his goal was
the goal was solid. Yeah, I remember that.
The goal where he put it bottom in. Yeah, right in the far corner. And let's not act like Foden has never played left wing before, and he can play left wing because we've seen many times before. So I'm not trying to hear none of this that's not his natural position, because like I've heard people say, give him the Ballon d'Or and stuff. So if you really are Ballon d'Or worthy, then grab your team by the scruff of the neck and do something. Yeah, because I'm seeing Musiala, Wirtz, and on Wirtz. If Wirtz actually won Europa League, I would have put him in contention to actually win the Ballon d'Or, because I think he's had an excellent season.
Of course.
Yes, he didn't win the Champions League, but I think individual performances, that's, of course, I'm not a stat person, but he has performed to the highest level this season, Florian Wirtz. But with Foden, I'm not trying to hear it.
100% Junior, man. Totally agree. You couldn't have said it better. We have seen him out on the left. What was that, G?
No, I said sorry.
Yeah, we've seen him out on the left this very season against Man United, where he got a man of the match performance in that game, and he's floated from there inside to left, and that's what I'm not really trying to hear too many excuses for him. So it's not a question of his talent. I'm not questioning that at all. It's more about your cojones. Are you going to stand up in this moment, when things are getting tough in these games, it's not necessarily going your way? What can you do for us there? Because not many players didn't have a great game yesterday. Only Jude, really, you could say he was outstanding. And let's see what you can do in that. Because if you was going to go to a Real Madrid, this is what's expected from you, my bro.
Yeah.
It's not going to be perfect for you. How many times have we watched Real Madrid man them? And they've been battered in the game. But have the moments, the players that step up. Jude,
Gareth Bale,
Vinicius.
He scored a bicycle kick in the final, and he scored a long shot against Liverpool, my team. And then a couple seasons later, the fans want him at the club. I didn't care for Real Madrid. So if Foden was to go to Real Madrid and do stuff like that, yeah, cool. Cut. We've got Vinny, we've got Rodrigo, we've got Mbappe. Yeah, we don't need you. Cut.
That's true.
Yeah, that's how their fans are.
Absolutely.
Foden, I think, man, he just, and first game, I mean, I think if this is game 3 and I'm still seeing the same Foden, bench that guy because man's getting tired of seeing the same thing over and over. And you're showing me that you're still young enough where, listen, you've still got time on your side where it could get better in terms for England anyway. but you're going to turn into the Lamps, the Scholes, and all of these guys who failed for England. Like, never really produced it on the big stages. It's all well and good, you know, when you're facing San Marino 5 times a year and Estonia and, you know, all of these dead international teams. No disrespect to people from there. But when you're facing those kind of teams, it's all comfortable. England getting 10 out of 10 victories and Harry Kane scored 15 goals. And it's, bro, I promise you, it looks great statistically. And when you finish your career and everyone can see, oh, he scored 60 goals and he got 50 assists and whatever the case may be, it looks great. But you see, when we're coming into tournaments like this and you're coming up against Serbia, first game of the tournament, and you stink, that's when that's where people now going to start judging you in terms of, as you guys are saying, are you really that level though? Because when we come to the crunch time, you're not really producing it. I'll be honest, you're not really producing it, and this is where it really matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's happened with Kane before in the previous Euros where I think he didn't score like an open play goal until Germany, I think it was. The rest were penalties, I believe. And to touch on Foden again, I think my play rating. I think I'll give him.
Sorry, I forgot to ask you guys.
I think I'll give him a 4 because he was asking for the ball, popping up in positions, but we don't need that from you. If you're going to play left wing, and this is also down to Southgate as well. If you're going to play left wing, then just hold the touchline because we don't need you to. We've already got players that are good enough on the ball to create things to happen. And the thing is, you know, when I think there was a period in the game where he drifted out to the left, Saka was there, and I can't remember if it was either Trippier or Bellingham, or I think it was Rice maybe, but he was just getting in the way, just asking for the ball. And the thing is, when he gets the ball, he's just going to play it backwards. It's not like he's going to turn or make something happen. And then when he's in the pockets, he's screaming for the ball, and then it ends up in a bounce backwards to like a Trent or a Rice. So he's not really effective in this England team, and I don't think he's got that dog in him to take the game by the scruff of the neck to make his team win.
You said it better than I could, boy. Yeah, that's blatantly true. Tereak.
And the last thing, agree with a 4. And the last thing I'll say on it before Annie gives his verdict is, I saw a good tweet actually. Look at Thierry Henry for France. Thierry Henry in his prime was one of the best players in the world, but he realised and he knew, and so did everyone else, this is Zidane's team, and Zidane being injured in this sense. So you know you need to take your role, accept it, and shine when needed and call upon, because that's what Thierry Henry did for France. So yeah, man, 4 for him. But I would continue again, G, with your way of thinking is one game. If it's by game 3, then we're gonna have to make a change.
No, agreement. Any? You're telling me, bro. Any? What position did you play, by the way?
Do I play? I play centre mid. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What about EG?
Yeah. I play centre mid.
Left wing.
Yeah, with all that hate you have on defenders, they're the one protecting you. You know what I mean? When you give the ball away.
No, just I rated them. No, trust I got respect for my defenders. Actually, no. One thing I'll say about the centre backs, you know, especially in this day and age, bro, I can't playing out from the back. There's a lot of responsibility on the centre backs these days, still.
Yeah, I can imagine, bro.
I do, and it's a lot of risk in what they're doing. So I do appreciate what they do, for real.
Exactly.
Hey, just do it properly though. Like, I appreciate it. Do it properly though. Like, don't be losing the ball. Like.
Yeah, sorry about that. Foden. Yeah, no, I agree with the 4, man. I think he was pretty anonymous for most of the game, and it's not good enough just to say that he's playing left wing, so we need to give him that excuse now. You still need to show something. Like, you were the player of the season in the Premier League still. That's weight on your shoulders now still. So you got to be performing in the biggest of moments, and he didn't perform yesterday. I can't even remember anything. I think the best thing he done was actually something. It was a defensive piece of work where he took the ball out of the sky and cleared it. The touch was brilliant. That was literally the best thing he's done the whole game. Apart from that, I can't remember anything that he done. That was pretty useful.
You know what's mad? Yeah, I'm looking like whilst you guys are talking, like I look at the sofa score just to see. And listen, I don't care about these people and their ratings because I don't understand what their metric is that they use for some of these ratings. Anyway, I would love to get a detailed look at that, but they rated him 7. I was like 7. Jesus Christ, like that's
They got paid definitely to rate
it's,
them.
bro. Like as in
Wait.
when I'm looking at the ratings that we've given in comparison to what they've given,
What did they
I
give
promise
Trent?
you, they gave
They give
Trent.
them a 6 or something.
No. On
Seven?
SofaScore gave him a 7. Trent got the
Oh,
same ratings as
6.
Foden.
Yeah,
I
Saka
saw,
got lower.
I think I saw another one.
Yeah,
that he
Saka got 6.9. I was like, what, less than Foden? That
Nah,
don't
they're
even make
mocking
sense.
it. They're mocking
That don't
it.
even
They're
that like to me
they're
that
mocking
didn't even
it.
make any sense.
So
And then Harry
man.
Kane got 6.8. I was like, we'll get to Harry Kane in a second.
You-
like, but yeah, that's
You man, remember Foden? We had a little transition in the second half. We didn't have many, and he cut it back and he played it to Serbia, bro. And
bro. I was like, Foden, get off the pitch, bro. Get off the pitch. And get off
that's
the pitch
exactly
quick.
what Pep would have done. You know,
Yeah.
Pep's going, yeah. Jack Grealish, Doc.
Yeah, you ready? Yeah, cool. Let's go.
Yeah.
Them man already warming up anyway. He's calling them back ASAP. Say, come here now.
Bro,
Get ready. Let's get on the pitch.
I cannot believe they gave Foden a higher rating than Saka though. Like they didn't watch the game, bro. They just crunched the numbers. There's no way they watched the game, bro. They just crunched some weird numbers to put it in their favor or something.
Bro, I promise you, without getting cancelled, let me choose my words carefully. What I'll say, because I don't want to get cancelled. What I will say is, we know it ain't got nothing to do with numbers. Anyways, moving on to Jude Bellingham.
Oh yeah.
Moving on to Jude Bellingham. We'll leave it at that. Junior man, what do you think of Jude?
He scored the header. If I was that defender, I don't think I can come back into the tournament because to get dunked something like that is crazy.
In basketball, you'll look mad if you got dunked like that.
Bellingham the goal,
It looked mad.
He did make a good run. He's been doing that all season for Real Madrid, the third man run. He was winning the ball back, good in his tackles and his challenges. Was driving with the ball. So it's probably the best performance I've seen from Bellingham all season, actually. So I'll give him an 8.5.
Crazy performance.
Tereak, man, what are we saying?
Hey, bro, outstanding, brilliant, and it's just a joy to watch him play, man, and see how, for someone who's come from from the local area from where I've been at as well. So he's just proud to see him, man, and he's gonna have a statue there soon if he keeps performing like this.
I'm surprised he ain't got one already, bro. What, Champions League winner, La Liga winner, bro.
Sure.
If he wins the Euros of England, oh my God, that's tremendous.
Exactly, man, and just the way the confidence he shows on the pitch to take on that mantle. And I know this pass got a little bit overhyped, but it just shows you the confidence. You know the one where he played the switch with a sidewinder. You know that one?
The sidewinder thing. Yeah.
It was good. It got a little bit overhyped when Rio Ferdinand was gassing it too much because it's not like he played it backwards, not forwards. But
you know that they're gonna gas it anyway. Like as soon as he done it, I was like my brain just went into someone's gonna say something. Someone's gonna say something.
The thing is, it is a good piece of skill. That's not easy to do what you done. It's a good piece of skill still.
How many times you've tried that and it just smell like slice it?
Yeah. Trust. That's not easy to always get right. I can't lie, bro. So,
bro, you said the midfielder, bro. You don't really do back your players, boy. Crazy.
Eddie's doing it, bro. I told you.
Bro, Eddie's doing it because he's the midfielder. You're doing it because he's from your ends. Jesus Christ, like that's so crazy. Now I understand though. Listen, when we get to my guy on the other side, we'll start talking about wingers and that. Sorry, go on.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be the battle of him, Jamal versus Jude, man, in this tournament. I'm feeling. It's gonna be fun to watch though. I think the young guns are taking. Jamal's coming. Yeah, outstanding against Scotland, and then you got Lamine Yamal as well out on the right. He was doing well against Vardio, one of the best defenders in the world last season. So yeah, Jude 8.5. I think we can get even better from him as well. Same. It's mad because I like him having that free role where he can drop a bit deeper. In terms of when we're out of possession, because he's very good in the tackle. But again, Kane, push further up so that we can get Jude in more advanced positions in possession more often, because that's when he's at his best. He's the one who played the pass out to Walker initially and then made that second man run into the box for his goal. So that's what we need to see more of, instead of always, where I liked it because he won free kicks for us, but he was too deep. And I'm like, I don't want you affecting the game there.
in the first half when he get fouled a few times. I got the elbow from Vlahovic and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want your best players higher up to affect the game, similar to what Real Madrid do with him.
Nah, man.
8.5.
Huge. Any? Go and chat to me about your centre mid, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
I thought that performance was absolutely outstanding, you know. And no, the thing is, this ain't even a CM thing because
No, it is. But go on, continue.
I haven't really been tooting due to like this season. I've just been saying like he's a Frank Lampard tour player arriving late into the box. Yeah, he's good. He's not technically great. He can't really stand up to the Musialas and the Fodens and the Wirtzes of the world. But bro, that performance yesterday actually might have slightly changed my mind. Obviously, I'm not going to be too reactionary. I still need to see more of that type of performance. But if he can produce that on a consistent basis, yeah. England have a chance to win the Euros. I swear down. If he plays like that, that's one of the best individual performances I've seen so far this tournament. I can't lie. I can't think of too many. Without Jude Bellingham, England ain't winning that game, bro. How about that? Without him on the pitch, that's a 0-0 draw. They might even end up losing, bro, because there was no other way they were scoring other than Jude Bellingham yesterday, bro. He was like a man possessed. Sometimes I see him on the edge of the box, sliding, winning slide tackles, beating two man on the edge of the box. Obviously, he took a heavy touch at the end of that, but it just shows like this guy is feeling himself right now, bro. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier as well, there's times where he wanted to beat the same man 2 or 3 times just for the fuck of it. Why not? The cross was shit, but still, man, I can't lie. I'm giving him a 9, man. I thought that performance was out of this world still. And if he can do that on a consistent basis, England have a chance, even against the better opposition, because wow, man, I was impressed yesterday for real. Not gonna lie.
We'll give him a 9. I'll be kind. I'll give him a 9 because I thought he was good, and I think everything you've all said about Jude in terms of his role and everything like that. I think like without him, England are not winning that game. That's all I know. So
you know what it is as well.
That,
Sorry, just to lastly touch on that because I was watching the game yesterday with my boy, and we were just talking about like Jude Bellingham, bro. I'm saying, bro, this guy's 20 years old. This guy's career is something. This guy's career is something out of like a video game, bro, out of FM or FIFA, bro. This is some shit you do on FIFA, bro. This ain't real.
Alex Hunter vibes, bro.
He's gone to Real Madrid. He's become a top goal scorer. He's even in his first season as a 20-year-old. He's even got his own celebration now that he does with the fans at 20 years old. He's becoming England's best player. Bro, he's got his own song. He's becoming England's best player now. Birmingham retired his shirt at 16 years of age, bro. He went Dortmund at 18 or something like that, bro. This guy's career, and he almost won the league with Dortmund. If he'd done that, then
that would have been mad. That would have been mad.
If he weren't injured, he wins that league, man.
Musiala
stepped up in that last game, so that's why he got
hit. Musiala's. No, but his career is something else, man. It's definitely something out of a video game. So, but
bro, and you know what? To top it all off, and maybe there's a bit of jealousy coming from myself, of course, but to top it all off, the brother has the freshest trim in football, bro. Like the freshest, bro. Like as in the shape up is like perfect. You know, like it's video game perfect. Like there's nothing. Bro, I'm
2K, bro.
Yeah, 2K, bro. It is mad. Every game I see it.
Sorry, Rio even said something yesterday as well. You don't even say when he's speaking, bro. It's just straight flowing, bro.
It's just straight. He knows exactly what he wants
say. Don't need like he's rehearsed this 100 times already, bro. It rolls off the tongue, bro.
What I will say though, on just before you go, what I will say though is clearly, and I don't know the ins and outs in terms of his background and stuff. Obviously, we hear about his margin and his pups and stuff like that, and the influence they have, but I can only imagine just from everything we've seen with Jude Bellingham, like big up ends. It's like an AI. It's like he's just been programmed from young. His parents obviously have done, of course, what they've been doing, and behind the scenes, they're doing everything they possibly can so that all he has to do is just worry about football. And he seems to stay away from. Like he ain't getting involved. Like man's 20 years old, and I've never heard a story of this guy like. Yeah, Jude was out. Like he was out last night. He was in this club. These times I'm seeing Rashford want to be in tape and all sorts and ends. I'm like, yeah, you see where your careers are. Why someone's here and you're now, Quay down here is because he's taking his thing so seriously now that he understood the assignment from the jump. He knew if I keep going this way, trust me, I can end up here. And I'd rather be talked about in that light than in the light where now man can only really look at Rashford and say, well, at least he feeds the kids. Like it's a different kind of conversation that, that we're having with two players, by the way, who, if you look at, Rashford was supposed to be England's like best player by now, or one of the best players in the team. You know, looking at, yo, this guy can play for Madrid. He can do this. He was dope when he first started. Debut goals, all this kind of stuff. Look at the way that their careers have panned out, man. So big up to Jude, bro. Sorry, go on, Andy. I know you've got to.
No, I was literally gonna say pretty much the same thing. It just goes to show what a great job his parents have done, bro. Because this ain't an accident. This shit don't happen by accident. It's obviously years of hard work behind the scenes, and it's paid off. It's a bit like the Mbappe situation. You can tell his parents done a good job as well.
Oh yeah, bro, African. I know that them. You know what I'm saying? I know they installed that from young, boy.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know what a lot of people say as well, especially my family, because my sisters, my sisters are married to and well, got white fathers. They say it's the best kind of mixed race as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? Black mama, white father.
bro, I'll be honest again. You know when everything, even when they must take pictures and that, like it just looks perfect on their mantelpiece that he's now got his Champions League and red tears on the side, bro. Everything. His brother, like there's clubs who are Premier League clubs who are now looking at his bro. I think that's like their next project because they're like Jude he's not finished because obviously he needs to maintain this level. So then we can all sit here and say in a few years' time, Jude is literally one of the greatest midfielders, or of this generation, especially. Yeah. But the next one now is, bro, let's see if we can get his brother to, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's see if we can push the brother into that same direction. Imagine if in the future, Jude and Job are both playing in the same team, whether it's England or club level. Like, can you imagine two brothers who are just perfect? And again, Job's got the fresh trim as well. Like, bro, I told you, bro.
Do you know where he deserves credit as well? And we don't like to say it, but England as well, in terms of the redevelopment that they did in the programs. Like, when I was doing my coaching badges, I realized how much development that they changed in England, especially since 2010. After that, when we got slapped up by Germany, how much they really worked to improve like young grassroots to academy level football in their programming, so that players are ready to step up from early at these big stages. So yeah, England and Southgate was a big part of that. Southgate and Dan Ashworth, both of them were massive in bringing that reprogramming in English football.
It's so mad, yeah. I'll quickly just touch on that before we move on to Saka. It's mad when you look at it like that, because I agree. When I'm looking at, like, I didn't know about the whole that they've changed up all of that stuff. So I'm definitely gonna even read into that. But when I'm thinking of it, and you look at some of these young players who are coming through, you are looking at like some very good. Like, there's a lot more young players, in my opinion, I feel, which are coming through. Whether they obviously make it first team, and obviously that remains to be seen. But just if you just look at the sheer number of young players who you're looking at and thinking, oh, look at him at Spurs, or heck, look at him at Sunderland, or look at him at Derby, or look at him. And I'm talking not even the big teams. I'm talking about some of these lower tier teams who are producing some real quality players. I'm like, and again, I didn't know that was one of the reasons. Now all England need is just to get a good manager, and everything will tie in together. I promise you. Get a good manager, and everything will tie in together. I promise.
Because it's true. Because it was only like once in a blue moon you'd see a player, a top or a real good prospect come out of a lower league team. They usually still came out of the best academies. Like Chelsea in recent years, Man City, Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, them lot. But now you're getting them all over the place, where in Birmingham City, where that academy is decent, it's nowhere near as good as, like, it's not a tier one, but yeah, amazing job from the England team. But again, it's all his parents, himself, his personality, which separates him from the likes of Rashford, as you said, G.
Mr. Feed the Kids. All right, let's talk about Mr. Right Winger. Mr. Right Winger, another player everyone was talking about, before the game, in terms of I know obviously picked up an injury. I'm gonna say, Tereak, obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, but picked up an injury, obviously, towards the back end of the season. So has been not, I would say, 100% fit. But I know for England, like Saka, when he turns up, that game against France in that last World Cup, when you've even got the French players who are saying, nah, Saka was a problem, yeah, that's when you kind of know that you've got a top quality player here. And I like Saka. If I could sign him tomorrow, I would say Liverpool go and sign Saka, let him battle it out with Salah for that right wing, and he'll probably end up taking over that position. Top player. But in my opinion, I think heading into this tournament, off the back of the season he's had, collectively as a team, Arsenal have had a good season, but I almost feel like he just went a tad bit below what I thought. I thought he would just go on again to the next level, because I know there's another level with Saka, obviously, to get to that world class. But he still had a decent season, like by any means. So weird one with Saka, and I get why people are talking about him, because then you got Cole Palmer. Obviously, Donny's coming to first season at Chelsea and just bagged this amount of goals, assists, cold celebration, and everything. So there's a lot of hype in and around him. But Junior, man, when you look at the game yesterday, how did you kind of view it in terms of Saka anyway?
Well, I think at the moment, I have to go. So I'm going to quickly say my rating. I think he won his duels. Well, his 1v1s, he was a problem down that right side. He did put the ball across into the box, but no one was there because Kane's playing false DM and Foden's ghosting. So I think Saka was unlucky to not come out the game with an assist. But yeah, I think he was good. So I'd give him a 7.5, just because he did drift away in the second half. But and onto Kane before I leave. Not accessing. So
don't worry. I've got a scoreline for Kane anyway. But now, big up, guys. Please make sure you head on over to Junior Game Manager, Instagram and Twitter as well. It's going to be in the description, so just make sure you guys head on out over there. And of course, you'll see him on the channel a lot more as we look towards the next few games of the Euros. So yeah, man. But big up, bro. Much love.
Yeah, big up everyone.
Big up, Junior. Yeah.
Bye.
So,
all right, Tereak, chat to me about your guy, man.
I think Junior's right. In what he said. 7.5. It was refreshing to see him go 1v1 up against a fullback in that first half, because so many times for Arsenal he's always got a 3v1, 3v2 with him and Odegaard, just in terms of like how we play. But if Serbia were a bit brave, leaving him 1v1, and he can take it down the outside, he can go inside as well. Very efficient, isn't he, Saka? He gets a lot of hate because he's regarded as, up and coming, and there's a whole world class debate and whatnot. But because he doesn't have the flashiest of skills, he's not like your winger that's going to be doing up a madness in terms of dribbling, but he's just efficient, brother. You know what you're going to get from him. He's really a striker's dream, because you know what you're going to get. When he goes on the outside, you're going to get efficiency in terms of quality consistently, whether it's across with his right, across with his left. We started to see him cooking a little bit, but faded towards that second half again. And as you pointed out, rightly so, he was coming into this injury with a bit of in tournament with a bit of an injury. Hasn't played 90 minutes since before the Man United game, because he didn't even finish that one. So it's been a while. It's been like over a month and a bit, so maybe 2 months. But yeah, man, big for him. If we are to do anything, realistically, he's one of the players that we can rely on, and we're going to hope he has that sort of level of performance that we see against France when we do face that level of opposition again. 7.5 for me, and looking forward to seeing more of him in this tournament.
Nah, man. Any?
The 7. I'm trying to think who else did I give a 7.5? I think it was Guehi and Walker. I think I think his performance levels did match there. So yeah, I'd say a 7.5. I agree with that as well. He beat his man. He was skinning his man a few times, man. His left back was having their left back was having a hard time.
Injured. He came off injured. I started busting up. I was like, bro, I've been there.
Bro, skinned him up a few. You probably even faked that injury, So
of course. I'm not skinned for 90 minutes. Nah, that's loose.
He's definitely started the next game, bro. Yeah, he ain't injured. he was just getting cooked, man. And Saka played well. There was a good run for the goal. Sorry, when Walker found him. I don't know if he got credited with that assist or not, but obviously he still played a part in the goal. So we have to credit him for that. Yeah, man, good performance all round. I don't know why, and I don't know how Foden stayed on the pitch for longer than Saka. I don't know if it's because Saka was maybe carrying something before the game, because I did hear rumours about that. But for me, the fact that Harry Kane and Foden stayed on the pitch longer than Saka did, the way the performances were going, is absolutely unbelievable. I can't believe
100%.
I can't believe that. But yeah, man, 7.5 for me for Saka. Very, very good performance.
Yeah.
I've given Harry Kane a -1 because I'm tired of your bullshit, bro. You are one of the best finishers, if not alongside Erling Haaland, Mbappe's of this world, right? We know what he's about. Man knows what Kane. Man can't sit here and say Kane doesn't get you goals. He just finished as Bayern Munich's top goal scorer last season with 40 odd goals. So I know what he's about. But you see this when you play for England. Can't lie, you need to stop behaving as if like Jude is the guy. You're not the guy. I'm sorry. You get the goals and I get all of that, but you're not the guy though. Jude is the guy. Like he is the one that should be taking the mantle for the team, carrying the team on his back. I don't need you to do that, bro. This dropping into this full 6 position that you're trying to do, and then you're dropping into like left back to win a foul, but then you hoof the ball up. These times there's no one there because you're supposed to be there, but you're the one clearing the. I'm like, bro, like I'm tired of seeing Kane in these stupid positions. Like, and the thing is, for me, forget even just my own bias in terms of wanting to see something different, bro. It doesn't help the team though. It actually doesn't help the team. Like you're playing in, you're dropping so deep that you're almost affecting the build-up play because now the players in midfield have no real outlet to give it to, as one of you guys mentioned before. And then when the wingers, when we're trying to play the ball into the box, I remember the Kyle Walker thing. Even though, yes, I admit Kyle Walker maybe should have gone for goal, but even the cross, forget that the cross wasn't as accurate or whatever. Look at Harry Kane's positioning in that move. There was no effort to even try and get in. Even if he missed it, you say, you know what, Kane tried. Fair enough, he didn't get there. No problem. You know what I mean? We go again. You weren't even trying to do that. It's like you were like hovering in this weird position. And I was just like, bro, like for me, I almost feel like he doesn't have natural, and I think any of you mentioned, he don't have like natural striker instincts. It is more like a Wayne Rooney where it's like, you're not a natural number 9. Obviously, you're just a dope finisher. So when you do get in these opportunities, of course you're gonna finish, bro, because you can finish, and you got such a like crazy technique when you do shoot your shots. But when we talk about like an instinct, like Haaland-esque, where it's like, bro, you're just, it's like a magnet towards the goal. Like every time you're near the goal, you just always find the right movement, and because that movement is so good, players can play it in. And that's why. But yesterday, bro, his performance made me sick, and I didn't understand like why he was playing in that. But I don't know what you guys think in terms of Kane, man.
I'm with you, man. I'm 100% with you. I don't like it, and it's ever since Mourinho, especially. But he was doing it before Mourinho, like in terms of being anonymous in these games. But ever since Mourinho said, if you want to get to like that Messi level, which you need to be involved in the game a bit more, and it seems like he's taken that too far. Like you don't need to be involved in the game that much. You are one of the best finishers in the world, as he said, and you can finish in so many ways: left foot, right foot, header. You see his striking instincts when he's off for set pieces, you know, when he's there in the back post, finds himself unmarked and he scores. And he did it for the Jared Bowen header. It was a very good save in the end. But that's what you're in the team for. That is your unique selling point. That's what makes you special. Like, I don't need you in this team. Maybe when you was at Tottenham and you only had Heung-min Son because Højbjerg and Dyer and them man were in the midfield, like they were the creators. So, yeah, maybe you do need to drop deep and spray it left, but not in this team. Not where you've got your Jude Bellinghams in that area when Foden is going to drift in and you got Trent in there. And when you're bringing on players that with other quality like Mainu, you don't need that responsibility. Don't feel like you need to always show something because strikers should get less touches of the ball anyway. But when you do get the ball, you're expected to be a threat and score a goal, essentially, or at least get shots off. You're the shot man in the team, gun man. So this is what I need to see from Kane more in an England shirt, man. Stop it. Just have that sort of mentality where you give me one chance, I'm gonna take it. Like instead of all right, let me get involved now. I'm getting a bit bored here. My name's not in the headlights. And then as soon as he does touch the ball a little bit, then the whole commentators go, selfless performance. Oh yeah, I'll keep referring back to that because it jarred me at the time listening to it. But yeah.
No, they listen. Even the commentators were pissing me off the most. Sorry, go on, Annie.
Yeah, I just agree with everything that's been said, man. I thought I'm just so tired of this. Like even just looking at his face is just starting to annoy me now, man. Like,
you know, someone just pisses when they walk into the room now. Like, why are you here? Like,
yeah, bro. You know, it's like getting the ick, bro. When you like everything you're doing just starting to annoy me, bro. Like
why are you eating chicken like that, man? I know, here's just dumb things. I'm now gonna just get on.
Why are you breathing, man?
Why are you breathing? Like, why so loud? Like,
yeah, bro. Literally, man. Why's your mouth always open, man?
Like, can't you chew with your mouth closed? Like, bro, like, what is this, man?
Bro, literally, man. I'm so over this, bro. I'd rather see Tony. I'd rather see a Watkins right now because he's not offering anything. Literally, I just feel like he's on the pitch at the moment, just in case we get a penalty. That's the only benefit of having Harry Kane on the pitch right now for England, the way he's performing. Obviously, we know the ability that he has and we know what he can do, but we're just not getting the best out of it. And I don't know, I don't think it's an instruction from Southgate, but if it's not an instruction from Southgate, you need to grow some balls and say, Harry Kane, listen, stay in the box. All this other shit you're trying to do ain't really helping us, bro. And if you ain't willing to do that, I know it's a bit unrealistic, but I know you're the captain, but you might have to sit down. It's probably a bit unrealistic. Yeah.
Or even just get subbed. Like, just get subbed at least. Like,
why can't he get subbed though? Be honest, man. Then why? Why does Southgate always feel the need? You have to have him for 90 minutes. Even like, I know he's your captain. I know all of that. But guess what? I've seen Kevin De Bruyne get hooked.
Yeah,
for Man City. I see Salah get hooked for Liverpool. I see Erdegaard get hooked. Like, yeah, I'm saying these are.
But sometimes it might not even be about being like hooked. So that, you know, that word just sounds so like bad. Like when you the connotation behind it. But when I always think about these kind of games, I'm like, how about you are tactically aware enough to understand that it's just not working with this guy. I need something different. So guess what? It's not working with you up top. And for what you can do, it can't work that way. Let me bring on the other guy. So we're just going to change it up tactically. And then we can play a little bit differently. And then we can move from there. But in other games, it's going to work with Harry Kane up top. We know that it's going to work. You know he'll probably score a goal at some point. So why can't you, like, just do that, bro? Like, you kept man on for the whole game and he was shit. Nah, man, I can't fuck with that at all.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I'd like to see Southgate do is, first of all, give Harry Kane instructions of staying in the box. And then if Harry Kane persists on doing this, then that's when you say, look, I've told you, this is the instruction. This is how we want to play. You ain't listening. And to get the best out of the team, I think Watkins' skill set or Tony's skill set might be a better fit. I'd probably like to see it happen that way. Because obviously, like I said, we do know Harry Kane's quality. Preferably, we want him on the pitch, because if we get a chance, we want him at the end of it.
Yeah.
So we just need to work out how to get the best out of him, and him coming into the DM is not the best way to do it, man. It's just pissing everyone off. I feel like it's even pissing the other players off. But obviously, because of his seniority in the team, like, they're not really going to be able to say much to him still. But I just know that certain man are probably like, I know Jude's probably thinking, why is this guy next to me? Bro?
Yeah, bro. Jude will probably say something.
Yeah, bro. I know.
Stay up top, bro. I don't need you here.
It's jarring, bro. I know some of the players are getting frustrated still, and it's just annoying to me. Oh, and the thing I wanted to say, that's what I wanted to say. It wasn't me that likened him to Wayne Rooney, by the way, and I know you made a point about him not being a natural number 9. But the funny thing is, though, when Harry Kane first came up, like, we were saying, bro, this guy is a natural number 9. Like, his movement,
because of the way he was just staying there, though. Like,
literally, he was the most natural number 9. And then some things just changed. And obviously, Tereak mentioned the Mourinho thing. Obviously, it might have been since then. It's just changed, like, and it's just like, nah, man, just go back to the OG,
just
bro. Go back to being a vulture, bro. We're bored of this shit, man. Please.
Yeah, I don't like. Honestly, Tereak you might have hit the nail on the head. It might have been that Mourinho comment. You know when, like, as you said, you know when you someone tells you something, but you take the literal meaning of what they say. So he tells you, nah, you need to get involved. He's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to start dropping into these positions, because if I pick up the ball, spray a pass out here, and then try and make that late run into the box, and then I can finish on the edge, they're going to start looking at me like, oh, yeah, you know what? Kane can do this. Kane can do that. I'm like, bro, Kane, I promise you, no one cares about all of that.
Sure.
Like, ain't nobody care about all of that. Like, we don't need that in the team. Like, when Rooney even was doing it, it was needed for whatever they were trying to do at Manchester United. And
one
we
thing,
don't need that here. Sorry, go on.
sorry, no, one thing has just popped up into my mind as well. If I'm gonna, because we were kind of saying about Trent needing the right players around him. The one sort of grace I could give Harry Kane as well is that if you are gonna drop deep, if Southgate is gonna say, Kane, you need to drop deep, then we need to also play the players that would suit that, because that season, that Mourinho season was obviously Son. Son benefited a lot from Kane dropping deep, and Kane was able to find him from those deeper positions. But we don't really have anyone running in behind for England right now still. So we do obviously need the right personnel behind it. But I couldn't
And that
get my
goes,
thought.
Yeah.
Cool.
but that goes to my point where I was talking about. Yeah, that's why I think we need Rashford in this tournament, because Rashford gives you that. Because we've seen Trent can play with a false nine. We've seen it. We've seen him do it with Firmino, and he was probably at his best then. But he had two wide men that can run in behind, that can score goals, go from out to in, and just cause that little and
Split strikers. Yeah,
exactly. So we need that more from, again, and he's raised a good point there, from Southgate looking at it, or he can adapt. And that's what the best players do. They adapt to the situation. Jude Bellingham adapted at Real Madrid and then, took his game to a next level. And we've seen Kane adapt his game for Tottenham. So I need you to adapt back and go into that.
Literally. Go back.
I've seen, because you know what's mad, G and Nenny? I watched Harry Kane play for the under-21s. There was a game at Wolves Stadium at the Molineux. And this was against Croatia under-21s. And the two strikers who played on that day were Saido Berahino and Harry Kane.
Saido Berahino,
when I watched that game,
that's a throwback.
Saido Berahino, if you was to say who's going to be England's top goal scorer, and the England top goal scorer is on this pitch, all day Saido Berahino, because he was
solid.
One who was a baller, much more involved, and this is when he was killing it at West Brom. But Harry Kane scored a goal in that game, and that just shows you that he was a predator in the box, and he barely touched the ball, but it showed you he had them instincts. But he seems to have lost it again. He goes back to the Mourinho team. But go back to being that Harry Kane, man. We need that for England, because we've got too many good players in and around the middle area of the pitch, the attacking third.
Nah, man. Nah, listen, man. Big up everybody in the chat. Big up everybody's obviously been tuned in. There's two questions from a couple people in the chat before we head on out of here. But guys, if, like I mentioned before, smash the like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. We will be back. I'll be back on Wednesday, actually. So I'm going to do a roundup, people, of like a Euro roundup, like after each match day. After each match week, should I say. Yeah. So the first one will end Tuesday, tomorrow. So I'll be back Wednesday morning, and we'll just take a look at all the first group games, player of the group, or player of the round, team of the round kind of thing. And then, we'll just chop it up, obviously, and we'll take a look there. So make sure you guys stay tuned in for that. But before we head on out, this was one question I posed to you both. Big up Philippe. He's saying, if you had to see one player for Denmark, who would you drop?
I guess you have to drop one player.
Yeah, you have to drop one player. Yeah, okay, yeah. So who would you guys drop if you had to for the next game?
Ooh, good question.
I mean, based on the player ratings, if Foden got the worst, I'll just go by that. Foden got the worst score, so I'll just play Gordon to accommodate for Trent slightly as well.
Well, it was Kane actually, -1.
Oh shit, it was Kane. Sorry, yeah, it was Kane.
We know that Kane's not gonna get dropped. I know that.
Yeah, it was Kane.
Would I? Yeah, if I had to drop a player, it would be Foden. Yeah. It would be, because I think you see a better Harry Kane, better Trent, altogether. If you have, and I would bring in a Gordon, just because of his profile. I do want to see a bit of Eze in this tournament, because he has looked good for England.
Same.
I love Eze anyway, man. Baller. That's why when everyone's crying about Jack Grealish, I'm not bothered, mate, because Eze's better than Jack Grealish.
100%.
Yeah. But Jack Grealish also gets a bit of that factor 50 tax. You know what I mean? From
like I said, I'm just keeping quiet, because if I go into that's even a topic I've got in my mind, but I just need to play it. You know what I mean? Otherwise,
I hear you. You have to play it safe.
Yeah, play it safe. Otherwise, YouTube might just start Yeah, start banning me from certain things now.
But yeah, man. So I would say Foden for me and bring in Gordon.
What about yourself? And neat.
Yeah, no, I'd do the same thing, to be fair, because I feel like that change has the potential to unlock both Kane and Trent, so it's definitely worth a try. So I think it's definitely, it's definitely worth a try, and that's the change I'd make.
I hear it. Big up, Marianne. Hope you're doing well, by the way. This is the last one. Who do you think will be the young star of the tournament? She thinks it will be Jamal Musiala. That's my guy, so I'm going with Jamal Musiala every time anyway.
You've been on him from day one, no G.
Bro, because Musiala is just... You got to realize, yeah? You're talking about a guy who... I say a guy, the guy's like 20 years old. We're talking about a kid or a young adult who has been balling the second he moved from Chelsea to Bayern Munich, to the point where you're like, I'm not putting you in the realm of these young players anymore. Like, you might be like, oh, he's a really good young player. No. I'm like, nah, he's probably one of the better players in his own position in the whole world. Like, in whatever position that is, or whatever position you think it is, he's almost one of those players where I'm not looking at him as the young guy anymore, even though he is actually still the young guy, out there in the context of football. But if you think about his positioning, when you're looking at players like Florian Wirtz, when you're looking at players like him, players who can play in those pockets of spaces, whether it be off the left, whether it be through the middle, bro, I promise you, he's up there with the top players in the world, 100%.
Yeah. 100%.
But yeah, that's my player. I don't know who would you have?
Who do you? Obviously, honourable mentions as well. I got to mention Jude Bellingham as well, just based off that.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I'm in awe still. I think Jamal Musiala probably is my answer, but there's obviously players like Wirtz as well that I'll be looking out for. Bellingham, obviously Lamar as well. I think he actually played well, man. I was gutted he didn't score though. That was a great save from the keeper, man. That was a great save from the keeper. I need to break that record ASAP, man, because
what's the record?
The youngest player to score in the Euros. I think he'll break it, right? He must break it. I'm assuming there's a record to break there. Maybe I'm
it must be. Yeah. I can't think of anyone else who was 16 at that time. Bro, Donny is 16, even got the GCSE results, and he's out here just playing Euros. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 60, and he's a starter for Barca, bro. He's starting for his national team. That's absolutely insane, bro.
Yeah. Lamine Yamal.
Sorry, go on, sorry, bro.
Yeah, Vardio. That's Vardio, I seen Saka struggle against Vardio a couple of times. And his Vardio was outstanding towards the end of the season, and we've seen Vardio do it in a World Cup where only Messi was the one who really done him up in that game. Yamal was just different, bro. Threat, and then that one moment, when Morata was down injured, he sat in the middle of the pitch, and then Yamal just went, "Yeah, let me take on 2-3 man." In this moment here, and then you know what? I won't just take him on and then waste it with like a cross to no one or a shot. I'll just go back and we restart possession. Outstanding, man. Like, he's a pleasure to watch. So honourable mention to you, Mom. Anyone else I can think of off the top of my head? A young player that maybe we haven't even seen yet.
That's what I'm hoping to see. Like, I'm waiting for the first round to be done. Once the first round is done, then I'm going to take a deeper look at the ages of some of these players, because I haven't been able to watch every game, unfortunately. So
do you know who I think will cook in this one? Jeremy Doku in this type of tournament.
Shit, I hadn't even seen Belgium. Yeah. I completely forgot about him.
Jeremy Doku, I think he will come out with some plaudits, because, as I said, if they leave Jeremy Doku 1v1 like I saw with Saka yesterday,
long day. Yeah, long day. In these kind of competitions as well, like these kind of things, as we're seeing, Lamine Yamal is playing well. You got Bukayo Saka. When it's not going to be I don't think this is going to be a tournament for defenders. I can tell you that. I don't think there's going to be a tournament. Big up, honesty, actually. This is a very good shout. Very, very good shout. Calafiori from Genoa. Yep. He's definitely a good defender. Definitely someone, again, I would look at signing if I'm looking for someone to play that left-sided centre-back. You know what I found hilarious, though, about Italy's team? That was the first time in a long time I've seen a left-footed centre-back play right-sided centre-back in Bastoni. And I was just laughing because I was like, when do you ever see that? Like a left-footed centre-back playing right-sided? Because usually people will say, oh, no, it's usually the right-footed guys who can, play on that left side. But seeing Bastoni, Jesus Christ, I don't know how old he is.
Also, You know, you've just brought something up here, and I haven't tweeted it or anything, but please tell me you noticed it.
Go
G
on.
and N-E. Italy, they were doing rotations at the back.
Bro, thank you. This is what I was saying to someone the other. I was like, bro, they were rotating at the back, but it's like it was just a weird rotation. Like players were not in their normal position; they were moving. I was like, rah, okay, Italy, all right.
Di Lorenzo, central centre back, and then you've got Calafiori playing at left wing with Bastoni at left centre back, and then Barella dropping into the back line. All sorts. Yo, I was like, Italy, you're moving mad. That shape, yeah,
yeah, we got social. The shape was mad, and I think that, listen, Italy, if they just had like a better striker, that like Scamacca's okay, yeah, but like he had them 2 chances that he should be putting away, man. Like that was typical him kind of thing. If they had a better striker, I think Italy will be a major problem. But I think there'll still be an issue though, regardless. Like regardless. But oh no, sorry, I thought he was back. No, I was just saying, yeah, no, we'll. Oh, go on, sorry, go on.
I realized I was on mute. I was just agreeing with you guys, but I was saying that DeMarco as well at left back, he looks good as well. I haven't seen much of him. I think he plays for Inter Milan, but he's like a good player as well, man.
Yeah,
he look correct.
Apart from that goal.
apart from that goal.
Oh, the early goal, that missed
because it kind of just made their game, and they couldn't really, just like England, it's like they couldn't find a way, like after a period of time, to just
it was a very similar performance, to be fair, actually.
Yeah,
despite, I mean, apart from that literally first 30 seconds of the game, actually, Italy played well up until they got ahead. Once they got ahead, it was literally it was like the England result as well. It's like the England game. Yeah, it's a very similar performances.
That's why I think right now, obviously, the games haven't. I need to even. What's the next game that's even coming up right now? Actually,
Romania, Ukraine.
Yeah, Ukraine, Romania.
I don't want to fucking watch that game. Jesus. No disrespect to. Yeah, I'm trying to wait. When's the France game?
Everyone's waiting for France. 8:00. Yeah.
8:00, and then we got Belgium. Okay, no, but Belgium. So okay, I don't mind. Yeah, I want to watch that Belgium, Slovakia. Just a quick question before you leave, guys. How was Sesko, Tereak?
You know, he wasn't great, but do you know what's mad? He had 2 shots, bro. He nearly scored a screamer in the first half, and he smacked it, and he did the exact same thing and hit the post in the second half. And that was where, from that corner afterwards, they scored their equalizer. So this is it. You can see with Sesko, his all-round game needs work, but that striking instinct of I can smack this ball from wherever I want with 0 backlift. You can't teach that, bro. So he's got them intangibles, in that way. But he wasn't great.
Okay, no, I didn't get to see that game, so I just wondering. You know, like I said, like, I have to talk to Mandem directly, because I can't read what goes on social media, because once I read it, if I've not seen the game. Obviously, I can only take what they've said. I'll watch the highlights, but if people are all saying, "Nah, this player was sick and he did this, that, and the third," obviously that sort of goes into your mind. So I have to ask people directly, like, "Yo, was he actually good?" Like,
if you watch the highlights, G, you will think, "Rah, he was good, man." Nah,
there you go.
The ball weren't sticking to him a lot of the time. He was giving it away a couple of occasions when he was dropping. He was caught offside too early. Them things, you know, that sort of, you know, you need to mature as a striker in terms of your timings and how you position your body. He needs to learn that.
Yeah, man, I feel you. All right, last one. Honestly, fuck's sake. Honestly, quick question for you, G. Can you please reclaim the buy for Ghana? That fake Iverson act like he is CR7. Man, the thing is, the buy, like, he's such a funny player, you know? Like, he's only on just aesthetics. Yeah, but he's on aesthetic. What does it say? Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah. I'm like, he's on. You got to realize, he's a rapper. He's a singer. He kicks ball, and like he's just about aesthetics. That's all he cares about. He's on aesthetics.
I swear he almost went to prison. Did he almost go to prison? Did he not have some bad allegations to his name? I
don't think you. Well, you're trying to put allegations, boy. Like, hey, the guy, you know what I'm saying? Even the what's his name, man? Quincy Promise. Yeah. Remember, I swear he got. Didn't he give him the money? No, he gave Danny Alves the money to get out of to get out of prison.
Bailed out Danny Alves. That's it.
Yeah.
He bailed out Danny. I'm also, again, a little thing. whatever the trim that Depay has always follows Drake for some reason.
Because that's what he's like, the Drake of football. Like he's just that
when
type of.
when he had the low skin fade, that was when Drake was really doing it with the taper and that. Now he's got the braids and that.
No,
bro,
that's the funniest player ever, bro.
He don't care about ball anymore. Like I thought, but the thing is, he's not even like it's weird
like
because he's not a
now,
shit
bro.
player though. He is actually pretty decent. Like on his day, the pie can be a problem for most teams.
Yeah.
Like, but I just feel like he don't care about ball. Like he's just like, listen, man, I'm just gonna do my thing. Yeah.
Little flick up with the outside of his boot. You see that?
This is what I'm saying.
And he's like, let me flick it up over him.
Yo, I feel like Iwobi is going down a similar route as well, man. I see him in the booth as well, making and shit. I don't know if he's
Iwobi, just you know what's something, man? I sit there and think, sometimes I think about certain players and listen, look, them man are in privileged positions at the end of the day. Like you can do whatever you want. It's your life, rare. But you see, this is why Jude will always be Jude, and you man will always be you man. Like you man will always just be the man them over there. That's calm. You can be those guys, and obviously we kind of need that. You know what I mean? You do need that because man them are just man them at the end of the day. Like they're living their dream. If man's playing football, some of these guys like Depay's played, Champions League, played for Manchester United, Atletico Madrid, Holland. So they're living their dream in that kind of sense. But you see, it depends on what you want out of this thing. The man just want to live the dream and just speak about it, or do you want to be a legend? Yeah, do you want man to still be talking about you in 50 years? When you walk down the street, man's like, yo, you see that player? He was cold, Or do we want to be one of them streets and never forget guys? Like, I don't know, man. You choose.
Yeah. Depay streets never forget, man. That's what he's like. Forget being one of the stars in the Euros. I want stars on the roof. That's what I want.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what? Like, some of these players give me the most joke, bro. Like, Iwobi, why are you rapping, my brother? Just stick to playing for Fulham and just do your thing, bro. Like, I don't need to hear you rap. I don't need to, like, all of this stuff. You man are just doing too much. But when you got that kind of money, like, you just think, bro, I'll do whatever I want. Like, if I want to make a tune, which is true. I'm not, and guys, listen, I don't want you footballers to think I'm just crashing on you, but we don't want to hear it. Like, as in, I don't care. As in, I don't think you man are good anyway. So, like, in terms of being artists, so I don't need you to do all of that.
Depay means horrid, man. It's horrible,
bro. It's crap, man. It's just crap. It's actually crap. Like,
you seen that Leon Bailey one as well, the music video.
I was gonna say like that one was actually all right, but I think it's because of the vibes though of the tune. Like, I could fuck with it.
You
but
put
everything else,
you put Pat on any tune, though.
Yeah,
it comes to level a little bit anyway.
But because you got the right melody, like you can run with it. Like I guarantee I could hear that at Carnival, and I don't think I would listen to that and just be like, right, what is this? I reckon if I heard that, I would just be like, oh yeah, that's a vibe. Like you'll be in the flow of things anyway, so you're not gonna get too into it. But
like people love crocodile teeth, so that says it all for me.
But this is the society that we live in. Guys, big up Jerry, big up Junior for jumping in, big up Tereak, big up Any. Guys, everyone's link will be in the description once I finish this stream. Make sure you like, make sure you share and subscribe. Just quickly, Tereak, let me even take this off. Tereak, have you got anything popping over the next couple of days?
I appreciate you, man, G. This is the first time I've spoken on a stream about the Euro, so appreciate you, man. And I haven't got anything planned coming up yet. I'm just doing some, just working at the moment. Got a holiday coming up, so trying to enjoy my summer. You know what I mean? Like in the Euros, it's big man summer. I'm trying to get big man summer for myself as well.
Yeah, of course.
All these old school number 9s making a return. I'm liking it, man. But I appreciate you, G, and big up to Junior, Jerry, and of course Any as well, man. It was nice meeting you, man.
Come on, man. Social don't say there's actually data from fans that want footballers to do fashion, music, and culture stuff. Yeah, that's probably the mandem who are like 19 and that. Like they want their players to be doing everything. I'm like, brother, I don't need all of that, Like I don't, and it makes me sound old saying it, but the reality is, I feel like you can separate those kind of things. Like I don't need, because really and truly, are we now saying that we're going to hear Alex Iwobi on the drill tune talking about chefing such and such and such? Bro, I don't think man's going to hear that. I don't think that we're going to hear that anytime soon. So if I'm not going to hear that, I don't want to hear it at all, bro. Like, if I'm not going to hear you saying, yeah, I'm running down such and such high street, chinging up such and such, I don't care. Like, I don't.
I'm ready. I was in the wing like Bale.
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, real talk. Because I know you. Because you know what's crazy about shit like that. If I ever hear a rapper ever, and even like big up a word because I keep talking about it, and I don't want to seem like I'm crushing it on you, yeah. But even when you listen to the lyrics, yeah, obviously you got to realize, man's a footballer. There's only so many things I can talk about. Like, I'm not in no trap house. I'm not, I can't talk about any bad bees and that, like, kind of, or maybe a little bit I can go down that route, but that's about it. I can talk about the cars, the money, and heck, I could talk about the football players that I played with. Like, that's about as far as that you can go. Man can't be like no play on words about being on a wing or being in this trap house or having to run from the Jakes and that. Like, man, I can't talk about that shit.
That's a running from the Jakes and that. Nah,
Yeah, but we can't. No, you can't talk about that stuff. So the reality is, I don't want to hear it. I actually don't want to hear it, bro. Like, talk about like you're just gonna sound like what Meek Mill sounds like now, which is man only talks about like one thing, which is music or money or the amount of bad bees. I'm just like, bro, I'm tired of it.
Just the Rick Ross thing. Yeah,
Rick Ross, bro. It's just silly, man. It's just silly. But guys, we'll head on out. Like I said, keep your notification bells on. We'll be back soon. At some point. I think Wednesday morning. I think I'll be back doing the match day 1 roundup. So make sure you stay tuned, guys. Big up everybody in the chat. Peace.